Right. Hello.
Hi.
This is me, my little portrait Joe, and I'm with Kirsty,
Hi.
my fiance. If you're there, can you hear us? There's currently 7 people watching, which is probably the lowest we've started with, but only just. I'm not really known for the live streaming. Happy Valentine's Day, I suppose you're supposed to say.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Because it is Valentine's Day. Hi, yes, I assume that hi means you can hear us. Let us know if you can hear us. Yes, it's Valentine's Day, and we thought to do this because we're loud and clear. Because, well, we did it for New Year's Eve, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Which was basically happened because we didn't have anything else to do that evening.
And we spoke for probably about 8 hours.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we ended up doing an 8-hour live stream on New Year's Eve because, yeah, I can't remember. All the plans that could have happened pulled out. It seemed like a fun thing to do. You've enjoyed when we've done this kind of thing before. And you fancy doing it again at some point. We did a quiz for that, a couple of games, and it went quite well.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
So it seemed like a good idea to kind of do again. So I've put stuff together today, hastily. Only one bit as technically quiz questions. We've got some movie stills, some slightly obscure stills from films. You've got to figure out the film. I've cropped and zoomed in really far on movie posters to figure out what they are. I have written some sort of murder mysteries-ish.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and you're going to get 5 suspects, and each time you can eliminate one, you're given a new clue. I'm pretty happy with the premise for that.
Okay.
What else we got? We've got bad movie descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fan favourite last time, if you can call it fans. There's 9 people now. Yeah, we gained another 2. Yes, hello. Hope you're enjoying your evening.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really done anything for Valentine's Day, particularly. I did buy you flowers.
And I cooked a meal last night.
Yeah. I wasn't. That was more kind of it just happened. I would have thought, though, wouldn't you say? You cooked a meal, and then I thought, I best do something now. So, so I hastily got you some flowers. But was it because of Valentine's Day, or was it just you fancied?
That's why I said I'm doing a meal especially for Valentine's Day.
Oh, did you? I thought you just fancied cooking, and then you were like, oh, it's Valentine's Day, so
I said I'm going to do a special meal because it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, we haven't ever done anything before in Valentine's. Have we even done presents
I've cooked for you before.
Yeah, but
and
you cook for
cards
me all the time anyway.
I've got your cards before.
For Valentine's, did you?
Yeah, I've got your Baby Yoda Valentine's cards before.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, I don't know why you're getting me Baby Yoda cards, because you're the one who likes Baby Yoda.
Oh, so just say Grogu before anyone gets angry.
Yeah, I personally don't like the idea of Valentine's Day, though.
I think it's kind of just a gimmick celebration.
It is. I think I think it was invented as a ploy for people to spend money, and it is that. But you've still done something nice for me. I tried to do something nice for you.
I also think, though, like, there shouldn't be a specific day when you show someone that you love them. That should just be like an everyday.
Yeah, I think that as well.
I think
that's what annoys me about it as well, because that's why I was so grumpy this morning about, because you said, have you bought me flowers? And I was like, well, now if I do, you're going to think I only did it because you said it. No, it's not like an actual special thing. Whereas, like, yeah, just treating people whenever is more, I think it's more sincere that way.
Yeah. And I think you, like, the things that I would like you to surprise me with aren't necessarily things that are Valentine's related anyway. I
can remember in the past you saying, what is the point in getting flowers? They're just going to die anyway. But that has changed over the years, isn't it? You quite like them now.
I think more so, like, now we have a nice home. I like having flowers out because I think it just adds to, like, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I won't say I necessarily love flowers, but I think it adds to.
Yeah, I mean it does.
I'd
nice.
prefer you buy me like Lego flowers or like Lego minifigures or pop figures.
Yeah, you've gotten very into Lego at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah. In the last like 2 weeks, I've probably built like 7 sets.
Yes.
I've done like a lot of the Animal Crossing Lego and a bunch of Star Wars Lego as well.
Yeah, we had the landlord visit. You were at work for that.
Yeah.
And he was looking around our flat at all of the Lego and the Star Wars figurines, and he was like, "So you're really into Star Wars?" So he was like, "No, I don't really care how the flat's decorated as long as you're happy." That sort of thing. I've never been bothered by that kind of thing. He was
No.
like, "Oh, you do seem very laid back."
The living room has pretty much been taken over by
It's about 10% my things.
by all my like nonsense.
Yeah, it's 14 people now. Oh, we have shut up. Jubilee Dickerson said that's so sweet. I don't know what it was in relation to. It's probably you cooking for me or something.
You recently did put up some nice shelving to display my Baldur's Gate things.
Yes, I was pleased I managed to put up a shelf.
That was a stressful incident.
Yeah, we had to drill through the walls and then discovered there were wires behind the wall, despite the wire detector not saying there were to begin with. But I still risked it anyway, and it worked. And I was proud of myself for that. It's one of those things that you should be able to comfortably do when you're approaching your 30s, but because we've never had a home before, it's just not something I've ever done or needed to do.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't been able to do it, I wouldn't have felt like a capable adult, I don't think. It's funny how you judge yourself for those kind of things.
But we did it, and it looks good. And now I've got all the Baldur's Gate Funko Pops to display, and
Yep.
all my other... I got, for Christmas, you got me a Shadowheart, what's it called? Like the artifact? Astral Prism.
Yeah, that's the one.
Which is pretty cool, and that's on there as well.
And tomorrow, I rarely treat myself, do I?
No.
I bought myself a guzheng, if anyone's aware of what they are. I don't even know that's how you pronounce it. They're my favourite instrument. I absolutely love the sound of them. I saw one for sale second hand for not much at all compared to how expensive they actually are. But I have to go collect it. It's quite a drive, but it's worth it. Anyway, enough of that. Before we begin any quiz game related stuff, I want to check how fast the chat is this time, because last time we did this there was a huge delay. I set it to low latency this time, so I'm hoping it's quicker. So from now, if someone types something, I don't know, just type now, then I'll get a sense of how far behind we are. Unless nobody did type it when I said that, in which case it's going to be further behind. It looks like it's quite far behind then again, which is a shame. Now, it's not too bad. Now, Chad Bramwell's here again. And a couple of people I seem to remember from comments on the Harry Potter video recently.
Oh, okay.
That video is bringing in some new viewers at the moment, really, which is quite nice.
We should talk about like Harry Potter at some point in this video.
I haven't talked about it enough this week.
No, I think that could be fun though. Like,
yeah.
Because there's certain points that I think would be
more things to
cool to
question.
Add to the You could do like questioning.
I mean, that video was 3.5 hours long. I think what I recorded originally was about 5 hours. First live stream must be late. Oh, no, you weren't there last time, were you, Chad Brown? No. You are a patron, though. That's so I'm just used to seeing your name.
I have seen the name before, I think, because I remember... Because one of our favourite TV shows when we were kids, was something called Old Bear Stories. And one of the characters is called Bramwell Brown.
Oh, so that name sticks in your
the
head.
name sticks in my head, yeah.
If anyone's aware of Old Bear or Old Bear Stories, then
it is like a very British kind of show, I think.
It's a wonderful show for kids, though. It's my favourite kids show. The Harry Potter video was excellent. Thank you. I am pleased with that. I mean, there are certain things in that video, or I finished it, and then I kept thinking of more things, or ways I could have suggested even better what I did, and I was like, And for a while, I did keep trying to edit things in, but it got to the point where I just had to put it out and accept people in the comments. Have you not?
No.
Except people in the comments will suggest the rest.
I keep listening to it while I'm playing the new Hello Kitty Island Adventure game,
Yes.
which I suggest to anyone who likes cozy gaming because it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I keep having a listen.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone quite well, isn't it? That video, it's up to 30,000-ish views at the moment. My kind of hope was, with the amount of work it required, if it gets about 100, I will do the rest. And it might get there because it's still early days. I mean, the momentum's dying, but you never know what happens.
To be fair, I would be really interested in listening to you talk about Chamber of Secrets, because I think that is my favourite.
That's the one I'd be most excited to talk about, because I think it's technically the best. It's still young enough that you can get away with all the childish elements, but also a better story than the first one. But there's also the most things I could say about that one, I think. Most ideas I had. problems with it. It was refreshing after all the critique on issues. I loved your takes, focus on character development. Yeah, I mean, I think that is... I mean, J.K. Rowling has a hell of a lot of weaknesses. I don't need to stress that. But also, yeah, as a writer, I think character arcs just are a huge one. Sorry joining late, was ordering takeout. I agree with your old crumb Valentine sentiments, but we're taking advantage of special menus. Yeah, well, that's what we did actually.
Yeah,
we got a text from our local pizza takeout saying we're doing a big deal. I was like, well, I might as well.
That makes us sound like we order we just got a text from them.
yeah. Like his first name basis.
Yeah.
No, like an automated one. I guess they
yeah.
must have got our phone number at some point.
It was very good pizza though.
Yeah.
We had a whole pizza, chips and garlic bread each. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pizza for, I can't remember how much, but it came free with chips and garlic bread.
Mm-hmm.
Just got two of them.
I think it went to like £16.
It's annoying though, because they do 24-inch pizzas there,
Mm-hmm.
but they never include them in the deals.
Mm.
That was what I used to love about when I was at uni. I tell you this all the time, and I'm always passionate to tell you about this. And when I was at uni, the local pizza place next to me did buy one get one free pizzas on Sunday, but buy one get two free on a Monday, and they did 20-inch pizzas. So I'd buy a 20-inch pizza on a Monday and have another two, and just eat them slowly throughout the week until they got horrible. That was my life back then. I missed that though. Buy one get two free. Is
the live stream meant to just be audio? For the minute, it will be, but we are going to do like games and quizzes and things.
Should I get something up so it looks like things
also,
exist?
Tyler Heckner, I have seen your name in Joe's comments all the time.
I'll get that sitting there so it looks like things are going to happen.
One of the names I do remember.
A long-time viewer.
Yeah.
How do I make this slightly small? I don't know. It's going to have to sit at that size. I can't resize it.
What's this?
That is a still from a movie. I have,
okay.
I think 20 of them, unless I miscounted.
Have you changed the colour of this, or is it actually black and white?
No, it's black and white. Yeah, that's kind of a clue to what it might be. It's not a film I've seen. We're going to start that in a minute, though, I think.
Okay.
Before we get on that, we've got a few different games and quizzes and things. Before we start, I don't know, is there anything else we could say? Is there anything else anyone wants to ask? Anything they should say before we begin?
Mm-hmm.
I hope everyone is having a good Valentine's Day if they're celebrating it.
What's everyone doing for Valentine's Day?
If nothing, I mean, this is the first time we've ever done anything for Valentine's Day, isn't it?
Hi, so glad I could join. Yes.
Join for another. Yes. I mean, we didn't give much notice for anyone who's interested in this.
Mm-hmm. We had talked about doing something around Valentine's Day, but I didn't know kind of what hours I'd be working or whatnot, and.
Yeah, so we weren't sure, and then suddenly this morning decided, okay, we will, and I hastily put together stuff today. I'm recovering from being ill and playing Dark Souls 1. I mean, are you recovering from playing Dark Souls 1 as well as being ill? Like, not just ill, but you also went through the ordeal of Dark Souls 1.
I've heard Dark Souls is quite a hard game, right?
Yeah, I've heard the first is the worst one, though.
Yeah.
And the second's the best. And the third is the one with a hairy chest.
Right.
I remember saying that to my friend once, and having an argument over which one's the best, and he got really annoyed when I said the first was the worst.
Never solitated, now we have to because our kid is super into it. Also feel cringy after 10 years of marriage. I think, if and when we have children, I think that is something that I'd kind of want to celebrate with them, I think.
What, Valentine's Day with them?
Well, yeah, because I'd like the idea of giving them, like, a little, like, stuffed toy or something for Valentine's Day. Like, just a nice little cute thing to do.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, people...
Kids...
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah. Like, people make their kids, like, little hampery things of, like Valentine's sweets and things. Which I think is quite cute. But then that just kind of falls into my love of, like, wanting to give people presents.
You do. You just want an excuse to spoil people.
Yeah.
That's basically what that is.
My wife and I don't do much. So have to figure out with three kids.
Yeah.
Thankfully, mother-in-law offered to watch them tomorrow so we can figure something out. I hope you have a great day, whatever you get up to.
Yeah. I'm just back from the gym, listening to you while cooking.
Ooh, what are you cooking?
We're
just being nosy.
Better than anything I can cook. But like, you made a hell of a steak yesterday.
Oh, it was the best steak I've ever cooked, I think.
Yeah, well, like those sort of, what are they called, those kind of potato things you did? Are they gratins?
Maybe, they're just like, not thinly cut, but like sliced potatoes made like really crispy.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fave Indian place for us. Their chef makes one day only dishes, but we're US East Coast ordering ahead. I love an Indian.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that actually is what I'm thinking about. That's another thing I did at uni once. So there's the local Indian to me used to do a meal for one deal.
Right.
I remember I used to order that quite a lot and ordering it one day when it was Valentine's Day without realising.
Oh,
The
bless
delivery
you.
man looked really sympathetic to me. When you order a meal for one on Valentine's
It's like
Day.
when you see someone like buying a ready meal for one on like Valentine's Day. It's just a
I
bit...
can remember once as well going to my local, it was Tesco that was.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't Valentine's Day, but buying, they did trifles, you know, the giant bowl trifles you can get.
Yeah.
They're doing them half price. I was like, oh yeah, I've got to get one of them. I love a trifle. I fancy one of them. Realised I didn't have any spoons, so I was also buying a packet of spoons. And the woman at the till was like, are you buying these spoons to eat this trifle? Yes.
Oh, bless you.
I wasn't really capable looking after myself back then. I still not really.
I've heard we've never obviously been to like Texas Roadhouse because that's not a thing here, but I have heard it is very, very good.
I've not heard of it, but
I think it's
you
like
would
an
know.
American kind of restaurant.
Get a meal for two and eat it all by yourself.
Yes.
We've done that before. It's my sister's birthday, so I'll be giving her chocolate. So we celebrate her birthday more than the day itself. That's a bad day to have as your birthday. That's got to be really
Yeah.
annoying. But my dad does on Boxing Day. That annoys him.
Everyone should just treat themselves as they... Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
That's an excuse for me to go buy more Lego when this ends.
Let's treat ourselves to a quiz. Now, is there any people want to start with? Because we have a choice of movie stills, zoomed in pictures of movie posters. We got to figure out what it is. We have 3 very small murder mysteries. We have just a quick general knowledge basic thing, and we have bad movie descriptions. We'll save that one for later. Is there any that saying that jumps out at people? I should have given them fancy
Can I have my
headlines.
drink, please?
Oh yeah, here's your Coke. I should have given them fancy headlines. I don't know what bad movie descriptions is a headline. Movie stills, posters zoomed is what I called the file or the folder, and whatever else I said. I don't know. I'll give
Really
people a moment
catchy
if they're.
names there.
I'll take it from the lack of answers. Either nobody minds or nobody cares. So
Probably the latter.
worst candy. Oh, was it in relation to chocolate? Valentine's Day chocolate. I've forgotten what I was saying. Let's, which one do you want to start with?
Well, we've got the stills up.
Okay, we'll start with that. So this is the first still. It's still there. Does anyone answer in the chat if you got this one? And you get a point. Do you know what this movie is? I'm going to probably have to give clues for this one, but I'll give it a second just in case anyone has an idea.
What's your least favourite candy?
What's my least favourite candy? Oh, that is a good question. Right.
Mm.
12 Angry Men. Ian's there straight away.
Is that right?
That is correct, yes. That's the steps of the building. The black and white was a clue
I was
there.
going to say like Schindler's List or something.
Well, it's black and white.
Yeah.
So, no, yeah, it's 12 Angry Men. And to answer worst candy,
See, worst like candy I've ever eaten would be Hershey's.
I hate every experience I've had with American chocolate. I don't like.
But I also hate like things like licorice.
I don't like licorice.
I hate coconut in like chocolate.
Yeah,
like
I do.
Bounties and things like that. Disgusting.
Generally, I don't like Cadbury's.
I don't like nuts in chocolate either.
Cadbury's. I particularly dislike though because I used to love them before they got bought out, and now they just taste really bad, and it disappoints me every time I have a Cadbury's that they don't taste nice anymore. The dairy milk.
My favourite.
Curly Whirlies once pulled my teeth out when I was a kid.
While we're talking about least favourite, we should talk about favourite as well.
Okay.
My favourite is probably I love a Kinder Surprise.
Yeah,
I
you
think
do,
I like
didn't you?
at one point anyway they were banned in America. Kinder
Don't
Surprises.
worry, a lot of us Americans don't like American chocolate. I've heard it's really bad. I can't remember what it is. It's really bad. It's probably additive laws, I imagine, in America.
And I think it's got something in it that helps preserve it longer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas ours is like milk and things like that.
What else was your favourite though? I interrupted you.
I like a Kinder Surprise. I like I do like a cream egg, like a Cadbury's cream egg.
I don't like the too gooiness of that. I find it
I like
overwhelming.
Mm.
I like a Bourneville. I like a dark chocolate.
See, I'm more of a white chocolate
Yeah.
kind of girl.
I like hot chocolate, if that counts. I love a hot chocolate.
With some Baileys in it.
Yeah, with a bit of Baileys. That's my favourite thing.
Baileys, for anyone who doesn't know what Baileys is like a
Irish cream liqueur.
coffee liqueur.
I love Baileys. I will continue with the next question to quiz, well, in case anyone wants to say anything more about chocolate. How do they pronounce it in America or other countries? Because chocolate probably is that just me who says? Do you say it like that? How do you say chocolate?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Chocolate.
Oh yeah, it's butyric acid in making chocolate, which makes it taste vomity. That is what I have heard. I think that's what kind of helps preserve it. But it has like a vomit kind of. That's why Hershey's apparently tastes like sick.
How is it so popular then?
I don't know. Maybe like because if you've grown up eating something, you don't taste it.
It's just a whole nation desensitized to the taste of vomit. If anyone goes to California, there's a local brand, C's Candies, absolutely brilliant. I bring it back home when I visit LA. I'd like to go to California one day, actually.
Yeah.
Big question. How do you eat a cream egg?
Not to sound like descriptive, but I do just like to go like tongue first.
I if I can, it's the same way I eat most kind of chocolate. Is try to get it all in my mouth in one go, and then struggle with the rest of it after that. That's normally my method.
I was about to say I actually lick mine.
I will move on to this movie still. Another hard one, actually. Both. I mean, last time I did this, I could pick out the most iconic films, and make like really obscure ones from that.
Who is this man?
These first, I mean, the first one's quite iconic, but I don't think there is recognisable a few of these. As a result, I've made some of the stills easier, like shots, than I did this last time. Like I made really obscure shots last time, where it was just like the floor or something.
Well, there was some last time that because it was so pixelated, I couldn't even see what it was.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what can I say as a clue for what this film is?
Me looking to see how many...
It's another film I haven't seen, but that's not a clue because nobody knows what I haven't seen. Me looking to see how many Pringles left in the tube. It's... What can I say about this film without giving it away? I don't even know who the actor is.
What genre?
I guess kind of... quite a heavy film. I wouldn't quite say thriller. A true story and quite a harrowing one. I imagine he's looking down the camera, but I don't know. I almost picked another shot which would have been a lot easier. He's right out in a hot climate, totally on his own, and that's the problem.
What? Oh!
Correct! 127 hours.
My head was like, is that Dave Franco? I just got the wrong...
Oh, is it?
It's James Franco.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Castaway would have been another good guess after that clue. So would be The Martian. That would have made sense as well. But no, it's 127 hours.
Is The Martian the one that's
Matt Damon. Yeah. I think that was based on a book.
Yeah.
I remember... Because that film won quite a few awards, I think, didn't it, The Martian?
Yeah.
I remember watching it and thinking it was quite good, but also kind of forgetting it after that.
I've never seen 127 hours, to be fair.
No.
I think it's worth watching.
Neither have I.
I've watched like a documentary about the real story. Not very nice.
It's a pretty harrowing one. This one is a tricky one because it is a very iconic film.
But it's not an iconic shot.
This sequence from the movie is one that's quoted a lot in different things. It's but it's not the obvious one that you'd think of when you think of the film.
I think.
Do you think you know what it is?
Have I seen it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'll give it a couple of more seconds in case anyone wants to
if you don't
guess.
have seen it, it's not what I think it is.
Okay, what were you thinking it was then?
I thought it was.
It's not Lion King.
I thought it was Forrest Gump.
No. I mean this is a trick still. This one because this isn't the flavour of the actual film. This isn't the setting of the actual film. It's nothing like that. And that's what's so when you're thinking Lion King, Lawrence of Arabia, Ben-Hur, you're on the wrong lines. Flowers do die, but if someone gets them, it feels amazing. Mm-hmm. Especially if a suspected woman buys them for a man.
I don't think you'd appreciate if I bought you flowers, would you?
Oh God, what have I got to do with these? Where do I put them?
You'd probably just panic.
Yeah. But yeah, I get the sentiment.
Yeah,
I
no,
agree with that.
Yeah.
This film, that would give it away. It's got a very famous director. And this is a sequence from the movie where the rest of it isn't set, but this sequence is often quoted and referenced and paid homage to a lot. We have an answer! 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Is that right?
Yeah. I wonder if that gave it away, suggesting it was a famous director of Kubrick. Yes, it is. It's the whole... I was going to say it's referenced in Barbie as the most recent example I could think of, the start of the film. Apocalypse Now would have been a good guess. Have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
No, I haven't.
I really love Apocalypse Now. I did a film module in my literature undergrads at uni, and we had to write about Apocalypse Now as an adaptation from Heart of Darkness, and I spent a long, long time studying that film and that book. And that was really kind of my first experience with doing, like, movie analysis. It was all about Apocalypse Now. I wrote a cracking essay for that. Mm-hmm. It got a really high mark. I can't remember what. I've never done a video on it, though. I don't know why not. The horror. You'll get this one, won't you? You know what this one is. No? Well, you can recognise the actor there. That's Christopher Eccleston.
Is this a horror movie?
Yes, I suppose you could say that.
One that I love.
Yes.
Starring a certain ginger woman.
I don't know.
Is it 28 Days? No, it's not, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
You're giving it away.
I thought it was either 28 days...
Ian got it,
yeah.
28 days later.
I thought it was either going to be 28 Days Later or The Others. Because Christopher Eccleston is also in The Army and The Others.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he? Has he done a lot of army-related roles?
I guess.
A Fortry essay on Apocalypse Now would be incredible. Yeah, I would love to do that again. I'd have to dig out the old essay. I'm sure I've still got it. But then probably adapt and obviously watch the film again. I can't remember enough about the book anymore to discuss that, but it's a great book if you haven't read it, The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, which was originally set in early colonialist, I think in Africa, I can't remember what country, and it was adapted to Vietnam, which is a great idea. There's a hell of a story behind the making of that film as well. Marlon Brando at his most chaotic. I would love to make a video on that. Yeah, it's such a long film, and there'd be so much to say. I'd have to really set aside time. You're all a good F Harry Potter though. F Potter. Mm-hmm. Congo. Yes, it's Congo. Right, so 28 Days Later. This one. I don't think you've seen this film. Oh, what can I say that won't give this one away? I think this is a clue for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think the actor comes from the same city as you. The main actor.
Oh, so is this?
Yes, it is. Yeah, correct. Pianist? No. This film. When did it come out? I've got a feeling it was the 70s, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a film set a little bit in the future from when it was. It's also based on a book. It's not Trainspotting, no, that's a good guess. 6 Feet Under, no. Heart of Darkness, that's Woman in Black House, nope. What else can I say? Oh, Ian's got it again. Yes, Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm.
This is, unless I'm remembering wrong, I think this is the scene where he's got the room at the end of the house and they're playing Beethoven, and it's incredibly distressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am from the exact same little kind of villagey place as Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, it's even the same village as you?
Yeah.
Or,
so I'm from like a little part of Leeds called Horsforth, which used to be like its own village, but then got kind of incorporated into Leeds, and that is where Malcolm McDowell is from.
He's very good in this film.
Same as I used to live like a street away from the guy who played Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter.
Yes, he wolf whistled you once, didn't he?
Yeah, down a street. Yeah. I turned around to like shout at whoever it was. I must have been about like 18, 19 at the time. Turned around to shout at whoever it was, saw it was him, and then was like, oh.
Did you say that once he used to trade cards with your brother?
Yeah, we used to trade Pokemon cards with him when we were kids.
Was that before he was in Harry Potter?
It must have been around the time like that Harry Potter was filmed.
No.
Yeah, because I think he did have the part of Neville then.
Ian tearing it up here. Ian is doing very well. Can you get this one?
It's an animation, and I'm going to say
that was a very, very.
I'm going to say it's obvious what who makes it. I think.
Is it? It's not a film I've seen. No, it's not.
Isn't
it?
No.
It's
kind of that style.
It's an iconic one, but it's not one I've seen. The few things I know about this film, I'll give it. I think, unless I'm wrong, it's 1997 it came out. A very iconic one. The title is one word, and I've got a feeling it's a name of the character, but I don't know.
I get too into these. You're not spoiling the fun.
No, we need.
Yeah.
If you didn't answer, that would be there for ages.
It's all of us versus Akira.
Akira, correct. Is that the name of the character? Have I imagined that? I remember I once watched a video about this film, but I haven't actually seen the film. Yes. Okay. Would you have got that? Have you seen Akira?
I haven't. I think I've read, because it's a manga as well, right?
Yes, I think it is.
I think I've read some of the manga.
Okay. Where's it going? This one. Could be an easier one. I found some very obscure steals for this, but I thought I should put a few easy ones in case some of the other ones were difficult. But everyone's doing pretty well with them so far.
Yeah.
It's an original animation. You must have read the manga or something else then. Alien, correct. And yes, it's Ripley. Not aliens, only Alien, I'm afraid. Here's one, which could be a trick one, because I don't think it's the obvious shot you would associate with this film, but I think when you know it, it makes a lot of sense. I think this shot is right at the beginning of the film. I don't think it's the first shot, but I think it's right near the beginning, as far as I remember. People's eyes mean something in this film. Oh, yep, Blade Runner already. Akira is based on manga. Nope, you have read manga then. You're back in.
I was thinking, what have I read?
My Little Eye. Is that a film or is that a pun? I don't know. But yes, Blade Runner. Quite a few got that. This one, I reckon people could get this one without a clue. I think so. It's quite an iconic film. Oh yeah, straight away, 2 answers right out of the bat.
I've never seen
Inception. Haven't you?
No.
Well,
I've watched a bit of it and I got kind of bored.
It's not my favourite Nolan film. I remember loads of people loved it when it came out, and I was like, it's quite good, but there wasn't really anything that really had me emotionally invested, I wouldn't say. But I think I've said that before. That can be Christopher Nolan's weakness. It's character investment. It was a problem with Dunkirk. A lot of people said it was a problem with what was the one he made that nobody liked because they couldn't hear anything? I can't remember what it was called.
Not Interstellar.
What's the film he made that nobody liked because they couldn't hear anything? I haven't seen it. That was the criticism. Everyone said you can't hear it. Tenet. That was the one. Impenetrable. Yeah. I imagine in that there's not much to invest in the characters as well. I think that can be a problem, but I still love Nolan films. I really loved Oppenheimer. This one, I can give you a clue. It's, if not my favourite film, certainly my top 5. And you haven't seen it.
There's one I would guess, but
Dark Knight Rises had some criticism about not being able to hear Tom Hardy, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you haven't seen that, have you?
No, is he doing his Tom Hardy voice that he does in a lot of films?
No, he's got a mask on, so he sounds like that the whole time.
like a DJ at a disco. Next up.
Night Not a Life of Pi. I can see why you'd think that. It's kind of a trick one, this.
Can I guess? I am going to say it is the Robin Williams, Matt Damon...
Well, Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting.
Nope. No, it's not.
Breakfast Club.
Nope. I have made a video on this, but only one. No, not Jumanji. It's a trick. The image. It's a painting in this family's house, and a person looks at it a few times, and it's kind of symbolic for a couple of things. I made a video about symbolism in this film in general. Right, I think about clues. No, it's not Home Alone. Tigerella, I've not heard of that. Not The Jungle Book. Not The Graduate. It came out.
The Fall?
No, no, that would be too obscure. As much as I love that film. If anyone's seen Tarsum Sings The Fall, say yes in that exact tone of voice. What can I say of a clue? It came out. It must have come out around 2017, I think. I've got a feeling it's that. Yes, it's awesome. It is. I do really need to show you that film. If there's ever one I want to see in a cinema, it'd be that. Mob movie. Nope. It's set in the past. Set in a very iconic time in the past. It's a comedy. A moving comedy. This is their family. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Jojo Rabbit. Yeah. This is probably the hardest one out of them in that sense. Although it does come up quite a lot in the film. This painting. Yes, it's Jojo Rabbit, and that's their family picture. This is another one I haven't seen, but I reckon people would probably get this because it's quite an iconic movie. It spawned a few sequels. There's maybe even still making them, I don't know. I don't think you've seen these. It was a film mentioned in the film Monkey Man.
John. Is it John Wick?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go.
Sorry.
That's two you've got then, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yes, John Wick. Oh, I can't. Why should I put this one in here?
Is this Monkey Man? Why did you say it's like Monkey Man?
Would anyone have got this? Has anyone seen Monkey Man apart from us?
I think it is such a good movie.
I loved it.
If you haven't seen it, I 100% recommend seeing it.
Out of the two martial arts movies we've seen in the last year or so, this would easily be my favourite.
What's the other?
We saw Love Hurts, didn't we? We saw Love Hurts the other day, which I didn't know anything about and didn't expect to be a martial arts movie, but it was.
To be fair, like, if you're going to it wanting like a good
Daniel Bishop has seen
film,
Monkey Man.
A good film, you're not going to get it from Love Hurts.
No, I mean, I had a lot of fun with the choreographed scenes, doing the classic sort of Jackie Chan stick of not wanting to fight people and being panicked and then having to.
And also being a bit like Hannah Montana, like all he has to do is don glasses and a mustache and no one knows who he is.
All of the talking bits were really boring in that film.
And really cheesy.
Yeah, and then they kept doing like monologues in their heads.
But
They kept mentioning
it had
Valentine's
Sean
Day.
Astin, which always helps.
Yeah. That's our review of Love Hurts, in case you're wondering. But Monkey Man, I could not recommend. If you like martial arts films, I could not recommend this one enough. A lot of people said they found the beginning boring, which I really don't agree with.
I don't either.
I think there's a lot. I think it works really, really well. It's Dev Patel as starring and also debut director and producer, I think. And he did all of his own stunts, and I broke a few bones, I think, in the course of making it. I love Dev Patel. That's Monkey Man. Now.
Oh.
Oh, is it that obvious?
Is this...
Don't say it, but I think you know. No, it's not that. No.
Oh, no, it's...
Yes,
it is.
Yeah.
There's one
how did you tell that? Is it the
there's one
characters
specific character in this shot that I recognise.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember looking at it, I was trying to hope. Yeah, it's Napoleon Dynamite. Who is it you recognise?
The man in the white shirt.
I don't know if anyone can see my cursor.
This guy.
This guy?
No.
This guy?
Yeah, because he's the boyfriend of like one of the other characters, right?
Oh, okay. I can't remember well enough.
I caught you a delicious bass.
I do really like Napoleon Dynamite.
I know, it's such a pointless film, but...
It's certainly the oddest film I think I've seen. I can remember seeing. Not the weirdest, but the oddest. Oh, straight in with Oppenheimer. Yep. It's kind of an obvious one in a way, I suppose, this one. Vote Pedro.
I saw at, I think it might be Liverpool Comic Con or something, That,
Don't be too slow. It was Oppenheimer.
The guy who plays Napoleon, is it John Heder?
Boyega.
And the guy who plays Pedro are going to be there doing signings. And I kind of want to go.
This one, you will know this one because you've seen it. It's a film you very much like. It's a film I very much like.
Is this Without a Paddle?
Nope.
Stand By Me?
Nope. Stand By Me? When did they go down a giant...
I don't know. Might have been just like an action shot. Not an action shot, but like...
This shot is South America, if that helps.
Paddington?
Yes. Yes, it's Paddington. Can you guess which one it is?
No.
No?
Is it the Peru one?
No, it's not. It's not Paddington in Peru. No.
Oh, is it the first one?
Yes, it's the first one. It's right at the start of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the Amazon. Yes, I think it will be, isn't it? Does the Amazon go? I think the Amazon goes through Peru. Haven't seen Paddington either. Though good. Yes, I highly recommend Paddington.
I did think it was Without a Paddle, which I do recommend, and it is up there with my favourite movies. I adore Without a Paddle.
Okay. I don't think you know this one, actually.
Why are you holding my hand in a patronising way?
Oh, straight away, 2 people get that. Is it that iconic then?
I guess.
I've never seen Perfect Blue. I've watched a lot of videos about it that got me really intrigued. I don't know why I've never got around to see it. Apparently it's very disturbing, this film. Which is why I want to see it. Without a Paddle has a great soundtrack. Is Without a Paddle the one with Matthew Lillard in? Is that why?
Yep.
Is that why you love it?
Right. So I think in every live stream we do, I talk about my love for Matthew Lillard.
Yes, you do.
Quite possibly.
Yes.
Like one of
on
my
Valentine's Day, you're gonna have a conversation about your love for Matthew Lillard.
One of my all-time biggest celebrity crushes. But Without a Paddle is a great movie, despite that.
Okay.
It's got Seth Green, Dax Shepard, so good, and Burt Reynolds.
I don't know who that is. Is he the old-time actor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's not Ghibli Perfect Blue, is it? I can't remember who directs this. It's a very different vibe to Ghibli. It's supposed to be very dark and chilling, this film, which is why I want to see it. Quite a psychological one. 2 left after this one. Now this is a difficult shot because I've got no memory if that name there is her one and she's just signed it, or if this is a random other name before she writes hers. In which case, it's very hard for anyone to get this. It's not Schindler's Lust. No.
That's a big porn movie. Is this Fight Club?
Nope. It's a black and white film.
Oh.
And it's black and white because of the time rather than for effect. I've not seen Perfect Blue, but the director... Yes, Paprika. That's another film I want to see. And yes, it is Psycho.
Schindler's Lust.
Schindler's Lust is a Valentine's Day version. Oh dear, I shouldn't have been laughing at that on the live stream.
Oh well.
Second to last one. This is another film I wrote an essay for in my module. And I got a very low score in this one. I thought I wrote an absolute corker for this one. I came up with loads of stuff, but because I apparently didn't talk enough about the context behind the movie, apparently if you don't include that, you can't get a high mark. I remember being really annoyed about that at the time.
Oh my god, I'm dying realising there's got to be an actual There is 100% something called that on the internet somewhere.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Right, clues for this one then. I think it was made in the 70s. It might have been slightly... Oh, yep, Rear Window. There we go. Yes, it is. That was going to be the next clue, that the main character has a broken leg for the whole film.
Is Rear Window a...
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Yep, it's 2 in a row there. Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
It's a really cool idea for a film. He's got a broken leg, so he can't go anywhere. So he's like looking out the window all the time, becoming a bit of a voyeur on all his neighbours, and then he sees one of them get murdered from the window.
Has there been a remake of it?
There's a really good Simpsons episode of it. If there might have been a remake.
I'm probably not thinking about that.
I remember the Simpsons one. I need to see. I like Rear Window. Yeah. This is a boat. That's your clue.
I've got a guess, but
It's the start of the movie. This.
Is
No.
this?
Perfect Storm. Nope. No, it's not Wonka.
Oh.
Um.
Island.
Yes, Ian's there again. Shutter Island. You're doing very good at this game.
I love Shutter Island. Such a good film.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my next clue. Was that they're travelling to an island, but that might have given it away. It is indeed Shutter Island. Paddington. It could have been Paddington, actually.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that would have been a very good shot because there is one like that.
I thought it was the start of Wonka. Do you know when he's on the mast of the boat?
Yeah, which would make sense. But that's the end of the movie stills section of the quiz. I'm going to leave that there a little bit before we do the next one.
Paddington Island.
8:20. Oh, we've been doing 50 minutes, and all we've done is go through 20 different photos. Should we waffle a little bit before the next bit?
Okay.
I really need a drink.
What should we waffle about?
Waffles?
Okay.
I don't have much to say on the subject of waffles.
Paddington's Lost. That tickled you?
Yes, it did. I like waffles. They are tasty. Yes. That probably sums it up. Does anyone dislike waffles? Is that a thing? I dislike those like bacon and maple syrup ones. I really don't get that.
I like bacon maple syrup.
I remember ordering them once, just seeing the sort of maple syrup and not realising it came with bacon, and I was so disappointed. Lost for Marmalade, Paddington 6. Alright, we'll move on then. I've got nothing to say. I hoped it would happen spontaneously. That's normally what happens. I just talk and things occur. I think is a Carl Pilkington quote.
One of the poor unfortunate souls that thinks blue. Yes.
Yes.
That used to be a big
That
thing back in the day, didn't it?
Yes. I don't know if it's still a thing that gets whispered around schools anymore. What other things like that? There used to be all the sort of things used to get told in school that were just, half of them weren't true.
There was always that teacher that told you if you like.
You're gonna say if they lean back on the chair.
If you were swinging on your chair while leaning back, the teacher would always be like, "Oh, I used to teach a class and a kid just cracked their head open doing that."
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Waffles are good, but I prefer pancakes. I do as well, actually. But I don't know. It depends what type of pancakes. Because I've only once, I think, ever had American pancakes.
I prefer American pancakes.
I think they look so much nicer.
Because our kind of pancakes are pretty much just crepes.
Yeah, I guess they are.
Do
you think mobile phones / the internet killed urban myths? Kids will just look things up now, I imagine. That's a good question, actually. That's a very good question. Because they probably could, yes, that makes it a lot easier. But I also think part of the thing with urban myths is people wanted to believe them.
But then when it comes to urban myths and stuff and whatnot, I think with stuff like creepypasta and things like that.
That's true.
Have helped keep that alive.
I suppose you can get different types of urban myths in that sense as well. I can
But
remember.
then there's the whole Slender Man thing, which then led to.
That's true.
Them girls almost killing their friend.
I can remember, to segue from that into a light-hearted story. I can remember being in primary school. It was year 4, and one of our friends that we decided to come up with a whole ghost story. And we come up with the grabber. It's this hand that would pop out the ground and grab you to hell.
Right.
And one of us must have made it up, but it became a thing where all of us knew it wasn't true, but we thought everyone else believed it, so we'd keep pretending to try and trick them. So one of us would just suddenly fall over, going, "Ah, the grabber's got my leg!" And then you just pulled it away from the hand just in time. We just keep doing it to each other, thinking they all believed it. I think that sums up my answer, though. That I think there's always going to be an appeal for the idea of them, and the idea of that kind of scare. So I imagine they still do. They just find a different way.
I remember in my primary school.
But it short lived. Oh yeah, what was the one that caused a lot of problems actually? Not long ago. That face. Had a name. It was a really creepy looking face, wasn't it? Where people saw it.
What was it called?
Does anyone remember what that is? That creepy face? Yeah, it was something like that, wasn't it?
Momo, yeah.
Yeah. One a kid I used to see in therapy was really... That had a really big effect on him. That's all I'm going to say, because obviously confidentiality, but that was a sad time.
Yeah. I remember when I was in primary school, there was like a memorial garden made for a girl called Kirsty who'd been at my school who died. And I used to go around telling everyone that it was my garden and people had to keep out because it was my garden.
You made a memorial garden for someone who's alive.
Yeah. I was a bit of a weird child. Like, me and my friends used to pretend, like, at playtime, we would play, like, the plague or, like, things like that. And we'd, like, pretend to cut each other's limbs off and stuff.
I think my favourite two games were... One of them was Romans, where you all just lined up and charged at each other, basically. The other one was the washing machine, where you like all had to hold hands in a circle and try to run as fast as you can to make each other fall over. I can remember one of our friends, I think, did get the head cracked open from that, actually. Unless I'm merging... No, I might be merging that with a different memory. That's the, let's say, the Momo section over. That was a good question, though. It's a very good question.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Right, what's next? Do you want to do... Should I save the posters ones till later? Shall I do one that requires less looking at things?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's do one of... We don't have to do them all in one go. Let's do a... Roman tortoise formation is the reason why men still think about the Roman Empire, I think. Men do think a lot about the Roman Empire.
Was all anyone played. What's Bulldog?
British Bulldogs. You never played that?
What is it?
It was... right. You had to... Some people would be like at one end of wherever it was, at one end of the playground, and they had to run and get to the other side. And I think
without being caught.
Yeah, I think that was basically what it was, unless I'm remembering wrong. Because there was another one where you had to throw balls as well, but I think that's something different.
If it is
and
that one, then I did.
You used to try and like grab and tackle each other.
Then we did play it, yeah.
That's not the one I want. Where's the one I want? Is it?
I'd also really like what was it called? What time is it, Mr. Wolf?
What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah. Which I guess is more famous now because of, like, I guess in Squid Games they do, like, the red light, green light game, which is pretty much...
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing a clip of that because I was watching that video of it edited to look like the Breaking Bad crew were in it.
One person stands in the middle, everyone turns one end to the other without... Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right, I've got to enlarge this if I can. These weren't any... I'm not going to lie. I asked ChatGPT a load of things and then edited what didn't make any sense. My premise, I came up with the idea.
Yeah.
I did it all really quickly today, so... Victoria Nearer. There's a pun. I popped that one in.
Right.
Victoria Nearer, a wealthy author, was found dead in her study. She was shot once in the chest with her own pistol, which was kept in a desk drawer. The gun was found on the floor beside her. You have 5 suspects. It's going to take a bit of reading. Every time you can eliminate one of them successfully, there's going to be a group vote on this on who we eliminate. I give you another clue, and we wipe them out. That's how it works. Momo and Ross were delightful self and Asian dumplings. Cafe Nero. So, woman shot with a pistol in her study. Trying to zoom it in a bit more if I can. I can't drag this down anymore. Oh god, what have I done? If I pull it up, then I can enlarge it. So we have Theo, Victoria's editor. He was concerned to learn that Victoria had been in contact with a rival editor to discuss work on her latest book. He had called her from his office 2 days ago.
Someone asked a good question. Do we eliminate suspects or innocent?
You eliminating the people you think are innocent, yes.
Okay.
One of them is the murderer. If the person you all collectively choose to eliminate is the murderer, then you all lose. You get nothing.
Good day.
It's going to be a group vote because it could all go horribly wrong in that sense. Victoria's editor, Theo, was concerned to learn that Victoria had been in contact with a rival editor to discuss work on her latest book. He had called her from his office 2 days ago. Leonard, the brother... Chat disconnected. Please wait while I try to connect you. Successfully connect. Oh, there you go. Sorry, did you say Victorian times? Are we talking phone call here? No, no. Her name is Victoria Nearer. It's a very clever pun, if I do say so myself. No, it's modern times though. Yeah, Leonard is the brother. He recently discovered he recently discovered he was Victoria's long lost brother. So he's come in contact in the last few months, and Victoria has been helping to pay his gambling debts. However, she's since refused to offer any more funds. He still has debts. Margaret, the wife, their marriage had been tense, and there were rumours that Victoria was planning to change her will. Margaret still lived in the house, but their relationship was increasingly distant. It's very hard trying to write in like just 2 sentences to keep this brief enough.
Did you write this?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Edward, business partner and friend, he and Victoria co-owned a publishing company and often met at her house to discuss business. Edward had grown suspicious that Victoria had been embezzling funds from their company, though he had no proof to confront her. And Sylvia, the housekeeper, she had worked for Victoria for years and had a spare key to the house. Victoria recently accused her of stealing but hadn't fired her yet. Anyone got any guesses who they think is worth eliminating? If you can give a good reason for it. I don't think it's hugely difficult, but it does require you to actually think this. She was found dead in her study, shot with a pistol. And the pistol was kept in her desk drawer. That's also a clue.
Victoria seems to have a high drama lifestyle.
Yes, she does. Or I suppose deaf style, technically. I'd sign off Leonard because he might hope Shed help him further. Might hope she'd help him further. That's a decent rationale. She was killed in her studies, so probably about business. Seems to kill someone over, I'd say.
Her will has potentially been changed, so could he have killed her for the will? Because he is now in the will, because he's a long lost brother, would be my thinking.
So, someone has to be eliminated first, and it gives you another clue. Is there anyone obvious who definitely... I mean, I'm going to say it again. It's a good clue that it was her gun that was kept in her desk drawer. Editors are too tired to commit murder.
I'd say potentially not Theo.
Why?
Has he got the means to get into her office?
It's good thinking, because... well, that's... Yeah, the hint in the information for Theo is that he called from his office, which suggests... I can't see why an editor would that often go to a person's house. So I'll tell you what, to make it easier then, yes, you can eliminate Theo, and that's the exact reason I was hoping people would pick. So Theo is gone, and I don't have the clues up. I need to get the clues. Not looking at my phone while I find it as well. You have I've got so many things in my drive now. I've recently started actually using Google Drive for like Word documents. Good egg, Theo. Clue 1. The gun was not normally kept loaded. Victoria stored her ammo behind a copy of the dictionary on her bookshelf. The gun was not normally kept loaded. Victoria stored her ammo behind a copy of a dictionary on a bookshelf. To make it simpler, it's not relevant it's behind a dictionary, it's just relevant that she hid it. This house visit could have been an email. Theo phone rather than going to the house. Yes, you all got that one, so well done. You eliminated Theo, and your second clue is that the ammo was hidden somewhere that it would require knowledge to find. So it has to be someone who knew her well enough to know where she kept the ammo. Exactly. So who wouldn't know? We've eliminated Theo.
Leonard, maybe?
Because he's only known her a few months?
Yeah.
Solid reasoning. Maybe someone familiar with her office, so confrontation she went to use the gun. Is Victoria American or not? I think this is just just a place. I'll say British, seeing
Is
as
that
it's...
because guns are getting mentioned?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Leonard, because he didn't know her until recently. That's 2 votes for Leonard so far. Margaret would have known her well unless the pistol was a recent development as the marriage grew distant. Well, they do still live together.
Okay.
So she might know that, I suppose. Edward was removed enough to not know. Okay, so Edward's another one who wouldn't. They're suggesting wouldn't know. So 2 votes for Leonard, 1 vote for Edward. I'll give people a couple more seconds, otherwise it'll be Leonard we're going for.
Context for
Random guns all over the places. I mean, you can. I suppose in an old British mansion, there probably is someone who owns guns there, isn't there?
Especially in like farm kind of places.
Yeah.
Like in Hot Fuzz.
Everyone and their mums is packing around here. Okay, so going for Leonard, I'll take it then. And correct, Leonard is not the murderer. And that earns you another clue. Sophia and Leonard are both gone. And clue 2, Victoria had been anxious leading up to her death. She even changed the locks on her study door, though didn't change the ones to the main house. I can't remember exactly what this clue helps with.
What was the clue? Here?
Victoria had been anxious leading up to her death. She even changed the locks on her study door, though didn't change the ones to the main house. Actually, I don't know. I can't remember what I was thinking here. What does that help?
Well, Sylvia has a key to the house. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Potentially.
That's good. You can't survive in prison with a name like Leonard.
What was I thinking of this one? Not Sylvia, then no reason to be anxious. So that's 2... are you voting for Sylvia as well, then?
I don't know.
I'm going to take
My
that
thing
silence.
is, like, do you think they recently changed the lock on the office door?
Yeah.
Is that because Sylvia was stealing?
Is that your... what? I suppose it depends who I'm getting confused now between who people are saying it is and who they're saying is innocent. Sylvia didn't know that she was going to be fired, presumably.
There's something quite sus about her still, though. I don't know what it is.
Well, why specifically would you need to change the locks for your study? Is a good question.
Because of the hidden will or whatever it was behind or the hidden gun. Was it the will behind the dictionary or the gun?
It was the gun behind the dictionary, although it's logical to assume, I think, the will would be somewhere in the study. That would make sense. So are people saying to eliminate Sylvia? Not Sylvia, then no reason to be anxious.
I think
she didn't know she was going to be fired, no.
Edward potentially could be innocent. I don't know.
Alright, we're spending a bit of time, so I will go with the vote to eliminate Sylvia. You nervous for this one?
Maybe.
Sylvia is not the murderer. So correct. So it leaves you just Margaret and Edward with a final clue. Victoria's desk drawer had been rifled through, though nothing of value was taken. Actually, that could mean either of them. I just realised that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I've written this slightly wrong. That could mean either of them. Is there one... How can I...
Can you think
How
of
can I
another
rectify
clue?
this? Well, both of them have reason to search for something. I will read the clue again, yes. Victoria's desk drawer had been rifled through, though nothing of value was taken, which would have eliminated Sylvia if you hadn't already voted to eliminate her.
Margaret could have been looking for the will. Is a will, like, of value, though?
Well, there is some logic, I think, actually here. It should only be anxious with Margaret because she would know that Edward had caught her. I don't think she would know, and Edward had suspicions, but he hadn't yet found proof to confront her, so he hadn't confronted her. Victoria wouldn't be aware of his suspicions. Both do have reason to look for something. Although, would one murder?
I'd say the suspicious thing with Margaret is there were rumours that she's planning on changing the will. So it's like, if I kill you now, before you have changed the will, I'm still entitled to that money.
But if she had changed the will, then you wouldn't want her dead.
Mm-mm.
Basically, this is a 50-50 guess now because I wrote it slightly wrong. What are people going to go for, Edward or Margaret? What have we got here? Edward looking for proof. I prefer just to talk about it, but people do get mad. Who's innocent? Edward or Margaret? Margaret is aware of the Slayer rule. What's the Slayer rule? Have you heard of that? I don't know what the Slayer rule is. Who do you think is innocent? Tentatively voting for Edward's innocence. I think on balance Edward did it. Okay, difference here.
Would Margaret be too obvious a choice though? Because people always look to the...
What, too obvious to be the murderer?
To the partner.
So your vote is Margaret is innocent?
I kind of want to say...
I think on balance Edward did it. Edward, I don't know if that's a vote for innocent
yeah, you
or not.
can't be entitled to a will if you murder someone, I don't think. Unless you didn't think you were going to get caught.
So that's another vote for Margaret.
Oh, Stephen Whittaker.
She murdered herself in her sleep. How would you amend? I can't think on the top of my head how to make this. The things you've written wrong. I can't think on the top of my head how to fix this. But I think there is still some vague logic you can suss out as to who is innocent. My eyes did pop wide at one point when saying something a minute ago or reading something that someone said. She was sleepwalking. Alright, well, so far, right, so there's been, I think, let's have a look. More votes, I think, to say Margaret is innocent. And you were saying you think Margaret because it's less obvious.
I think Margaret could be innocent.
I'd say Edward, no crime of passion. Oh, what are people going for then? I'm sorry, I've forgotten key setup stuff. Wild text string. Alright, I'll answer this one before we all get too just sat here lolling about it. Is Edward's surname Butler? I don't know if I did name any of them, except Victoria having the last name Nearer. Margaret is innocent. That was kind of the rationale that I've not written well enough to really think through, was that the will had been changed and therefore it wouldn't be sensible to kill. Edward did it. The butler did it, correct. Yes, well done everyone. It sort of works until the last two.
Margaret, what a gay icon.
I mean, it did quite well to eliminate the ones eliminating Theo and Leonard. It worked until the end, I think, this.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the other ones
I
do
actually
better.
enjoyed that. That was quite fun.
Yeah? Did everyone enjoy that? Did I do a good thing? I think it's a cool idea. It's really difficult trying to write something where you've just got like one or two sentences for each part, because I think too much and this would just get really like you just couldn't be bothered to read it. It was really hard doing that. Well done me. Should we do
Not well done you though, because I've noticed like on our screen, is this one of the films for the movie poster later on?
No, that was for the thumbnail for. So no, don't worry about that. That's not a clue for. You should watch Murder by Death. Is that what it's called? Murder by Death. That's
Sounds like an Agatha Christie.
it's one of those. My dad has a series of collecting old. I think it's Penguin Books have brought out a series of old murder mysteries that went out of print, so like from the 50s or the 40s or whatever. They've done a series of like any that went out of print are being redone as a big series together, and they've all got names like that. Murder by Death.
I liked the one that was a dramatic murder.
I'd really like to host a murder mystery night sometime. I mean, we've got the actual like big murder mystery we worked on,
Yeah,
didn't we?
so we have been writing like a murder mystery game together, and it's pretty much almost done.
Yeah.
It was really fun to do.
Yeah, that was like, it was like what they called like Hunter Killer, or there's other like the boxes.
Like the murder mystery kind of, where you get all the like evidence and you have to go through it and.
Yeah, and there's like physical clues, and sometimes you have to look up websites and things like that. I think we've got a really, really good story for that. It's just a case of actually
making the evidence and things.
To an extent, we probably require a digital artist for that.
Yeah. Well, you've got a friend who.
David Niven, Maggie Smith, Peter Sellers. Is that one of the Agatha Christie's?
I think he was talking about
I remember Maggie Smith was on in Agatha Christie. I was getting confused. She was in the ones with Peter Ustinov. Hopefully nothing like Cluedo. Everyone's favourite game, Cluedo. Would you prefer Cluedo or Monopoly?
Cluedo makes me less angry.
Yes. I prefer Monopoly though.
As a kid, well, I don't like the like kind of standard Monopoly. I like the editions.
Yeah.
So like the Disney ones, or like I want the Lord of the Rings one at some point.
These are fun. Sorry, in real life coordinating. I don't multitask well. It's a lot to, I think, doing one of these. It is a lot to read on a screen, especially if anyone's watching this on their mobile. It's got to be hard. And then you want time to think about it, and I keep talking. Probably makes these kind of things quite difficult.
Clue. Is Cluedo called Clue in America?
Oh, maybe then. That seems an odd change.
Clue.
Or is Clue a different game?
Waldo.
Oh my god, Clue. It ends unless screwing up. Yeah, it must be then. Wonder what the original is. Did we invent the dough?
Well, I guess
or did they drop the dough?
I guess it's kind of like we call it Where's Wally, but they call it Where's Waldo.
Yeah, which I also don't understand. I don't get that. Yeah, I'm on mobile. Were you able to read this okay on mobile? Does it look alright on that format? Drink some more. And we should probably do another thing before we do the next crime.
No.
Do you want to do... I suppose not clues with a Z. Do you want to do either bad movie descriptions or just the basic general knowledge bit? Maybe end with the general knowledge because it's less... We're going to do bad movie descriptions then. This is a game where I describe a movie badly.
Oh, Clue the movie.
Clue the movie is unhinged fun. I did not know it was a movie. If it's what I'm imagining in my head, based on the very little information, that does sound like a cool idea. Yes, bad movie descriptions. What was the example I gave last time? I said like, man laughs until it hurts, and the film is Joker.
Oh, my favourite was the one. It was Star Wars. Old man
turns into fabric. Yeah. Old man becomes fabric. That's what I said, wasn't it?
Mine was trapdoor ball roll.
Yeah, which nobody was going to ever get that one. That was a ridiculous one. That was Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Which, in my opinion, is a classic.
You don't have any yourself this time because you're working today. I mean, I was working, but the work ended up being this because... Yeah. I mean, I was supposed to be editing... my friend has hired me to edit his book because I hired him to do the illustrations for my poetry, so it's kind of return to fate. I should have been doing that today. Instead, I was coming up with bad movie descriptions. Ready for the first one? And I assume everyone's familiar with the premise now of bad movie descriptions. Can a guy not buy some fruit without being shot? Can a guy not buy some fruit without being shot?
Any Scooby-Doo films are classics. Weirdly, I have only ever seen Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah, I don't know why
even
you haven't seen the
though
other
I always go on about how much I adore it.
Yeah, you've still never seen the first. You don't even want to see the first, do you?
No.
Godfather, correct. Yes, famously, oranges signal someone is about to die in those films.
Oh.
He buys oranges and dies. Well, he doesn't actually die, but Heath Ledger claps weird. That's the next one. Heath Ledger claps weird.
Dark Knight.
City of Angels. I think these guesses are for the last one. Oranges, man, oranges. It's. I don't know if the City of Angels was for this last one, but it's not City of Angels. Heath Ledger claps weird. Well, I'll give it to you then.
Mm-hmm.
You're correct. It was Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, I should say. Maybe that's not a thing people pick up on as much as me, then. His weird clap. There's a scene where Gordon gets made chief or something, and he's got this weird clap he does.
I genuinely adore Brokeback Mountain as a movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's so good.
I've not seen it. There's it is a fun little trivia that's not even that fun, but I just wanted to say it because no one really picked up on it once. I once made a video on the show The Queen's Gambit.
But he did clap.
And there's a scene in that where... There's a scene in that where they're clapping her for, I think, her success, and there's like a weird angle of it, and it's the guy who... What's he called? The guy who plays Dudley in Harry Potter.
Harry Melling?
That's the one. And he does a clap. And I edited in that scene, it replaces him with the Joker clapping. Just like a quick shot. I was very happy with that. Well done, me.
The Brokeback Knight.
The Brokeback Knight. There's the next one. Now that my aunt and uncle are dead, we can finally go on an adventure. Now that my aunt and uncle are dead, we can finally go on an adventure. There's probably a lot of films that play into that trope, actually. It could probably be a lot of different things. Daniel Bishop is guessing Star Wars. You'd have to be more specific.
Oh, it's A New Hope, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. It was... I'm going to give it to... Oh, yep, Daniel Bishop said New Hope. I'll give it to him. I was going to be pedantic about
Is it
typos, seeing as I did that earlier.
Is it Luke?
I'm going to make that my new thing.
Luke's?
Yes. James and the Giant Peach. There probably are a lot of films that would apply.
I read an article the other day, and James and the Giant Peach is Henry Selick, right?
Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah, I think with Tim Burton for that. Isn't it? Oh.
It was a video about... Sorry, I'm eating a sweet. It was a video about how, like, certain films that people think are Tim Burton but aren't.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's probably a lot, actually, isn't there?
Coraline. And apparently Henry Selick did more work on Nightmare Before Christmas than Tim Burton did.
Yeah, I remember seeing that once, and Tim Burton got a lot of the credit for that movie, which is a shame. Because I really like Henry Selick's work on the basis of Coraline and Nightmare Before Christmas. I think they're the only ones I've seen.
I like James and the Giant Peach. It's really cool.
I did have it on VHS as a kid, but I cannot remember anything about it. Here's the next one. Man is secretly Jesus. It'd be a good news headline, that, wouldn't it? Man is secretly Jesus. Well, it wouldn't be secret if it was a news headline. It'd be man is publicly Jesus, but it's man is secretly Jesus. Dune. That would make sense, but no, it's not Dune.
Evan Almighty.
Nope. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy could work too. No, not Matrix. It's a bit more literal than that. Life for Brian, that is very literal, but it's not that. No, not Invention of Lying. That's another good guess. Okay, I didn't realize how many. I didn't know how many films involved a man being secretly Jesus. There's a lot. That seems to be a big thing in cinema. I don't know what that says. It's a different film where man is secretly Jesus. All right, man is secretly Jesus and also disliked. Oh no, that doesn't narrow it down either. Man is secretly Jesus for a very long runtime.
Oh.
That's the bit that gave it to you.
Is it Green Mile?
Yes, it is, yeah. Jesus Christ Superstar would have made sense. No, it's the Green Mile. You played Secret Hitler. Hitler now tries Secret Jesus. Next one is, what a horrible carpet pattern. What a horrible carpet pattern.
Oh.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I'll see if anyone else can get that. Ugh, what a horrible carpet pattern. This is wrong because TV, but Preacher adjacent. Preacher, I don't know. Do you know that? I've never seen Green Mile, sadly. Then you wouldn't know. It's a secret then that there's Jesus in that film. It is a secret. The Shining, correct. 2 for The Shining. Big Lebowski also makes some sense. But yes, The Shining.
Or the British pub chain Weatherspoons.
Yes. They do have. Although every single carpet in a Weatherspoons is unique to the location.
Yeah, but they're all hideous.
Yes, they are. They look like bus seats.
Yeah.
Those old bus seats.
Yeah.
Ugh, guys, I'm a serial killer, okay? That's the clue. Guys, I'm a serial killer. What were you thinking it is? Yes, that would be it. Yeah, I'll see if anyone gets that. Does anyone know what film that is? Guys, I'm a serial killer. Ugh. I made myself coughing doing that. But yes, Daniel has got it. It is American Psycho. Dexter also makes sense, but no, it's a film. A similar premise, I suppose, in a way. Well, one of them's a satire, I guess. Next one is bleeding eye means I'm evil. I don't think you've seen this film. A bleeding eye means that I'm evil.
Confession, I've never actually seen American Psycho.
Haven't you?
Mm-mm.
Neither. Well, I have, in that one of my closest friends was absolutely obsessed with it for a long, long time growing up. And at a house party once, he put it on while we were trying to sleep, half drunk. So I've heard the film because I couldn't get to sleep because it was on. So I've heard all of American Psycho, but I haven't seen it. But it's one I would really love to see because I think there's a lot of ideas you can make on a film on that. Casino Royale, there's quite a few votes for that. You are correct. Yes, he has. Mads Mikkelsen's eye is bleeding in that film because he's evil.
I didn't even know Mads Mikkelsen was in it.
Although he's not. He's not the main villain.
Maybe,
in that film,
maybe if I knew he was, I would have watched it.
I've told you
long
several
time
times we should watch Casino Royale. It's got Mads Mikkelsen in.
Oh, well, maybe I will then. I mean, the only reason I've seen is it GoldenEye is because it's got Sean Bean in.
Yeah. I should just pretend Matthew Lillard's in films when I want you to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard's in Good Will Hunting, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll watch that then.
Next one is let's all end up at the airport. That's a good thing to do. Let's all end up at the airport. That's how we'll end the film. At the airport. These are all guesses for the last one. You got any ideas for that, Ways? Let's all end up at the airport.
Not Terminal, right?
Nope. That kind of starts at the airport.
Home Alone, no.
Nope. That also sort of starts at the airport.
The airport. Love Actually?
Oh, correct. Yes. You got it before anyone else did there. Every rom-com ever, correct.
Your least favourite movie?
Yeah,
ever.
I think I say this every live stream, but I do despise Love Actually as a film.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like it. Airplane, no. I think that would make sense, although I've not seen Airplane either. We have one more. Grumpy Scott becomes a hero because he wants to be left alone. I think this one's quite easy. Grumpy Scott becomes a hero because he wants to be left alone. Well, I'm saying that with too many actual words. I'm supposed to say it. Grumpy Scott becomes hero because wants to be left alone. Oh, straight away. Daniel's very good at the bad movie descriptions. It is Shrek. And that was them. I
don't know why I was thinking Braveheart.
Grumpy Scott. Yeah. I suppose in a way. I do like the idea rather than freedom, he's fighting just for a bit of peace. 5 minutes peace!
Well, is it Mel Gibson?
Yes.
He's definitely a grumpy man. Well, I won't
yeah,
use grumpy for the things he said, but like...
He's just a bit grumpy. We need to narrow that one down if you reuse it. The airport one. Yeah, it's funny doing them and realizing just how many films they apply to. Highlander has 2 grumpy Scots. Every film with someone Scottish in is one of them grumpy. That's kind of the stereotype that's been made for Scottish people in films.
Speak no evil. Grumpy Scott. Is he Scottish?
Yeah, I don't want to say he's grumpy in that film exactly. He's quite charismatic.
Mel Gibson as live action Shrek.
All right. So we have left the general knowledge quiz, 2 more crimes. It was a very busy night on the streets for crime. And zoomed in movie poster things. Even Tomb Raider had one. Is that a grumpy Scott? Do you guys know Apollo the Parrot, who can recognise Shrek? I do not. Tell me more. I am very intrigued now. Hold up on the crime. I've got to learn about Apollo the Parrot.
That's what you're asking Alexa about tonight.
Do you know about Apollo the Parrot? I probably will. Do you want me to get her answer? She's useless, Alexa.
Yeah.
Doesn't answer anything. Sorry, I didn't get that. So I married an ex-murderer, has a grumpy Scott too. Yeah, I think that's the rule of Hollywood. If they're British, they're evil. But only if they're posh British, actually. Then they're evil. If they're poor British, they have to have a Cockney accent from the 1800s.
Or sound like me.
Yeah, that's true. If they're Scottish, they have to be grumpy. If they're Welsh, they won't be in the film at all. I don't know how familiar Hollywood is with Wales. What other ones are there?
Apollo is an African grey and his owners show him things and he says what they are. One of them is a Shrek toy and he says Shrek.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is interesting, actually. Even if it's like a different designed one, because that's got to be really sophisticated to recognise. I suppose part of it's the colours, but the shape of Shrek and the clothing, and be able to have the brain power to associate that with Shrek, even though they could be completely different. And people say animals are stupid. That's really cool. I'm going to look that up later.
Your dad has a dog who can, like, usually if you point at something, a dog will follow your finger.
Yeah,
and just look. But your dad's dog can look at what you're pointing at.
Yeah, he's so smart for that. You point and he'll go and get it.
Crocs.
He does that with once a week. He does agility, or he's taken it as kind of just a thing to help stimulate his brain. There's like quite local to us. There's a woman who organises it, helps anyone dog owners want to come and do a bit of agility. She's got her own course, so he goes for that, and he is so quick at it that normally you have to run along with the dogs when you're doing agility, but you don't with him. You just stand in the middle and point to each thing, and he goes to them and looks where your finger is pointing next, and then goes to that one. And if you don't point quick enough, he barks because he gets really angry at you.
They also have
so stressed
Shrek
about it.
Crocs, and for the parrot they are Shrocks.
That's cool.
Just search Apollo Parrot Glass or Apollo Parrot Shrek and you will enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up later.
People want to think animals are stupid.
Yeah, they do. My dad's dog is insanely smart at that. Like,
Yeah.
she said, because she does do national competitions, she reckons he would be very good at it, but my dad can't be bothered with that, and the travel for him he wouldn't like. What else does he do that's really smart? There's loads of things like that, isn't it?
You can name like a certain toy of his, and he'll bring that toy to you.
Yeah, that's a similar point, because like Ropey, as it tends to be called, goes through a lot of different lives because he breaks toys easily. So you get ones that look completely different colours, different shapes, basically a rope with some kind of attachment. But he knows all of them are Ropey. You say, go get Ropey, and it's one he's not seen before, and you'll understand that it is Ropey. So I think that is the same kind of thinking.
Also, anytime you open the fridge and get cheese out, he appears.
Yes, he does. He's like Gromit in that way. He is a very smart dog. Yeah. We will... Right, let's do another crime then, but just sort of spread them out a bit, and then we'll do a thing after that. So, where are they? Where's the crimes?
Someone said they wanted general knowledge.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do
they
general
said
knowledge.
It'd feel like a pub quiz.
Oh, I do remember seeing that actually, yes. Dogs are very intelligent, except for my pea-brained terrier. Yeah, my dad's got 2 dogs. One of them is incredibly smart, and the other one isn't. She's full enthusiasm, but not with intelligence. Okay, general knowledge. There are... Oh, I only did 15.
Oh.
There's only 15, so this is going to go quite quickly.
We've been going to a lot of like pub quizzes recently, haven't we?
Yeah, I do like it.
Mhm.
Our local pub does them every Monday. It's only £1 to enter as well, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
We don't go every Monday because...
And they do a raffle as well, so you can win stuff.
We won a box of Matchmaker chocolate. That was it. General knowledge always ends up specific knowledge. It's kind of true. Same with our dog, but peanut butter. I'll be getting it out of the pantry, close the door, and it'll be there like a jump scare. Right. Question 1. What is the capital of Finland? How much to leave? As long as you buy a drink, I suppose that's probably the price. Which, going by nowadays, is £1,000. What is the capital of I just...
Yeah, someone said it anyway.
Okay, that's right. Helsinki. I was going to say, what's the capital of Helsinki then? I gave it away. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
I can never remember which ones are which.
Like
One of them's Oslo, and I think that's Norway. Finland's is Helsinki. Sweden's is Stockholm, I think, isn't it? And Denmark's... What's the capital of Denmark? There's another question for you. What is the capital of Denmark? Oh, is it Copenhagen? Helsingborg. Question 2. Yeah, it is Copenhagen. Okay. Who wrote the 1815 novel Emma? I had to study this on my literature course, but we got 5 books a week, so I skipped this one. I kind of picked one to focus on each week, rather than all 5 not learning much about them. Who... Yes, Jane Austen. Yes, it is.
I thought it was the Brontes.
I mean, that would have been a good guess as well. It's the same time period. What is the chemical symbol for gold?
No.
I when I saw the answer, I was like, oh yeah, I do know that, but I'd never been able to remember it like without a prompt. AU. That sounds like it's AU. AU over there. Yeah,
is that
correct.
why the vodka's called AU and it comes in a gold bottle?
Oh. I don't know. I didn't know that was a vodka. That's quite cool if it is. 3. Oh no, that is 3. Number 4. In which year did the Titanic sink? It's quite a tricky one. I tend to be good at remembering these. That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
What was the question?
In which year did the Titanic sink? One guess for 1912, one guess for 1916, one guess for 1911.
1903.
No, Ian was right with 1912.
Ah.
I might have been able to get that one, I don't know.
I don't think I would.
I think my great-granddad worked on the Titanic, unless I'm remembering wrong. 2001. Which planet is closest to the sun? Unless they've moved.
Mercury.
Yep, it's Mercury. You got there before. Maybe not. I don't know. There is a slight lag.
I used to do like the Mavemschnup.
Is that how you remember them? Mavemschnup. That can't be the best way to remember it. Mavemschnup. Did you come up with that? Was that what you taught in school? I can't even work out what letters that is. Mercury. Mavem. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Mavem. Schnup. What is that?
I don't know.
Is that Saturn and Jupiter? Does that actually work? Is that how you remember it?
I sometimes forget some of them even with that.
Uranus and Pluto. November. I don't remember how I remember them. I think we just kind of went through them in a sort of song way. Mercury, unless they've moved. They might have moved. You never know. Who is anyone keeping an eye on these planets where they are? Who knows? Which
sounds like a new experimental hip hop band.
Coming to the stage, November. Sailor Moon helps. Venus is hot. You sound like a lovely couple. is it always so harmonious at your house?
Except when we're playing Overcooked.
Yeah, I mean that is one way to have an argument, isn't it? Normally because
And by argument, I get in your face and yell, "What about the fucking chicken?"
the biggest thing we ever had an argument about was playing Little Big Planet 2, I think it was. And people, I loved that game. I think they've closed all the servers, which is a shame because I used to make levels on that as a kid. But there's one where someone made like a mini golf game, and with like a few of them, and you'd like play mini golf against each other. And that had a big argument because you insisted you won.
I did win.
No, you didn't though. I won. We did like what 4 of the games.
Yeah.
I won 3 of them. No, it wouldn't
No,
have been that. It must have been more games than that because you won like.
I won 2 or something.
I won 3.
And then you won 1, and then we said this is the decider, and I won.
No, I won. No, the thing was I won more games overall.
No, you didn't.
But you won the final one that you declared was the decider because it was the last one.
So I win.
No, because I still won more games overall.
No.
You can't just say a game's the decider just because you win, and therefore that's it. We're having it again now.
We did play when we went on holiday to Cornwall this year. We actually played mini golf, didn't we? That was pretty fun.
Yeah, and I trashed you.
No, you didn't. It was horrible. We were playing in like the rain and everything, but it was fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
Not to assume, but do you think having a therapy background makes it easier to have a healthy relationship, or do you think you're both naturally well adjusted?
I don't think that's a poorly worded question at all. I think it's a good question.
I think I don't know. For me personally, I think relationships are a learning experience.
Yeah.
And I think we've both previously been in not the best relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that can kind of, moving forward, you kind of know more of what you want and what you need from the other person.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably true. I mean, the first relationship, the early ones went into that sense. I was naturally young and insecure and trying to get it right and make it perfect rather than really think about what was right for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the experience of doing that and it going so horribly wrong made me kind of go, right, that's not the way to go about a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to have another one, it's going to be because it's genuinely fun spending time with this person and it happens to feel right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably true, yeah. I think it does.
And I think like we've each had, like prior to getting together, we'd each had like a period of time where we could just focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
And like kind of fully heal ourselves of any.
For me, that was a very long
things.
time.
And
It's too long for me, that period.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we just kind of complement each other quite well in general.
I think we do. I do think it helps though as well. I mean, I think it's given each. I mean, because your background isn't therapy exactly, but
it's psychology and like social work.
You have an MA in it. And
yeah, I have
you used to work in a residency
Yeah.
for survivors of domestic violence. So.
Yeah, so I have like my bachelor's in psychology, and then I have my MA in social work and social justice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've also worked in like homeless shelters, with people who have come from like a lot of different backgrounds.
I think it's probably quite a basic thing to say, but I think it's probably true that if one of us is stressed or maybe a bit snappy because of it, we have the sense to understand they're stressed rather than to like get drawn into retaliating and have an argument over something rather than.
And I think like the way we kind of handle things sometimes is by making a joke about it. Not making a joke about it, but like.
I mean, yeah, I do.
We turn it into like, or like, if you're annoyed at me, I'll do the whole. Like, I don't know. I have a thing with you where I like to annoy you by taking everything you say literally.
Yeah, pretending to be
offended by like everything that you say. So I think if I do that, sometimes it would just make you laugh.
Yeah, sometimes it is genuinely frustrating though, because then I can't tell if you are bothered or not, or if it's a joke. They'll be like, "Are you actually upset?" And you'll be like, "Yes." And I'm like, "No, but are you?" I think it helps to an extent in those kind of ways. Yeah, I think a lot of it is understanding. It's just getting to understand the person, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And having the sense to sort of step outside how you feel for a moment and consider them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's necessarily requires a therapy background, but it probably helps. Or unless maybe we both went into those kind of backgrounds because we were like that to begin with. I don't know. Oh yes, I was doing a quiz, wasn't I?
That was interesting, though.
Yeah. That's what's kind of good for these live streams, that you can derail off into an interesting chat when it's
I think it
appropriate.
also helps where, like...
We shall crack on now.
we are very, like, the same type of weird.
Yes.
So we have our moments of just being odd.
I don't think anybody has grasped in any of my channel how odd I actually am in real life.
You are really odd, yeah.
I'm quite an awkward person as well, aren't I? I do baffle people without meaning to. I have a conversation with, like, a small talk with someone, and it's like there's a nice middle ground where you're not saying something so unweird it's dull, and you're not saying something so weird it completely weirds them out, but it's like a sort of slight oddness
uncomfortability.
Yeah, where they can't quite figure out if it is weird or if it's normal, and that kind of makes it more baffling.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I seem to say seems to cause that reaction in people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I work better working with kids. I don't know. Who painted the 1942 work Nighthawks? That's the next question.
Oh, God knows.
Nighthawks, one of my favourite paintings. It's very what's the word? I can't think of the word. Melancholy. Who painted the 1942 Nighthawks? I think if you just lean into it hard, then people don't find it weird. Edward Hopper, correct. What is the currency of Japan?
I don't know, but Ian should go on, like, Mastermind or something.
He's doing very well.
Yeah.
Or maybe that just means I'm writing easy questions. I don't know. Maybe the rest of us are just not up to it. Yen, correct. That's 2 for yen there. What is the smallest country in the world? In the world. I can't do a Jeremy Clarkson impression.
Vatican City.
Yes, correct. It is Vatican City. It's kind of a trick question, that one, isn't it? Because it's within... yeah, there's one for Vatican City there. It's not.
I was impressed with that because I'm really bad at, like, geography.
It's not an obvious one you'd think of that. Who discovered penicillin? I think we were taught this in school.
Marie.
No. She was radiation, not Marie Curie.
Penicillin, radiation.
There was another for Curie, so you're not alone in that. Pasteur. Alexander Fleming. Yeah, Pasteur is another good guess. Louis Pasteur. I can't remember what he did, but he did something along the same lines.
Flamel.
Who directed Forrest Gump? That's quite a good one because it's not an obvious director you think of the name of. It's one of those directors where you'd have to look up and oh right, I've seen their films. I didn't really know their name. Bacteria in milk, I think, was Pasteur. That was his invention. At this National Science Fair, I've invented bacteria in milk. Spielberg, nope. Woody Allen, nope. This is quite a hard one because I did know their name. They also did. What did they do? They did Back to the Future, if that helps.
Oh,
I can't think of what else they did other than that.
Oh my God.
Robert Zemeckis, yes. And I think Daniel's answer is along the same lines. Yeah, you started with it and then just sort of threw the rest at the end and assumed it was somewhere along the right lines. Yes, you're correct though. Robert Zemeckis.
I love Back to the Future. That's what's up there with my favourite films ever.
I can't remember it well enough. I would like to see that again at some point.
I think the second one's my favourite.
What is the hardest natural substance on Earth? This is one of those questions when you're like 12 years old, you're Googling, like, what's the strongest animal? What's the biggest skyscraper? What's the hardest substance in the world? That's the sort of thing I ask Alexa, isn't it? Chuck Norris. Nope, it is diamond. There's an answer for that. Yep. That's probably a Minecraft-related fact that I imagine anyone who plays Minecraft probably knows. Although I think there are harder substances in that game.
I've never played Minecraft.
No, we've got it. I bought it that time for us to play together. But
we once played 5 minutes of Terraria, and I just kept falling through the ground.
Yeah.
And you had to come and rescue me.
I was like, you're going to love this game. I love Terraria. I'm going to show you through it. And you're like, nope.
I just kept falling through the ground.
Which Shakespeare play features the character Polonius? It's probably quite a tricky one, actually.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
No, it's a good guess. I didn't remember. We were watching The Apprentice the other night, weren't we? I don't know if anyone British here has been watching the UK version. Hamlet is correct. The UK version of The Apprentice. But they did a task set in Stratford-upon-Avon, which is where Shakespeare's from. And in the border room, Alan Sugar, who's the host in that show, just kept like showing off he knew things from.
It was incredibly challenging to watch.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Like trying to do puns based on Shakespeare lines, but they were just all awful. And it's so clear he'd like 5 minutes before been looking up Shakespeare plays to try and make it look like he knew about them. It was really bad. That was it. I can't remember any of them, but they were awful. In which film stars Sean Connery as a reclusive ex-writer who begins helping a young student and basketball player with their homework?
Oh my god. This is a film that
this is an in-joke,
gets brought up way too much in our relationship.
Yeah. It's a film I saw once in my life and for some reason got into a habit of mentioning it at times and getting you to ask what it's about and then reading out the entire description of the plot as it is on Wikipedia. Or is it IMDb?
If you ever get a chance to go to Stratford for a play, I'd recommend.
Yeah, I would like to visit there at some point.
It's not crazy far, I don't think, for us.
I'm going to read this again as well. In which film starred
someone's guessed it.
Oh yes, Finding Forrester, correct. In which film starred Sean Connery as a reclusive ex-writer who begins helping young... I do that thing, don't I, where I read as quick as I can, and I'll just sit there reading the whole plot for 10 minutes, or you'd be sitting there trying to ignore me. I do like doing that. I don't know why that started.
Finding Forrester.
It's a good film, though.
I will have to watch it sometime, but I kind of like the idea of not seeing it.
Well, you know the plot now. I mean, I've told you enough times. It's good because it's just a really in-depth description of everything that happens in the film, just going through the whole thing. Yes, Finding Forrester. How many strings does a standard guitar have? Yeah, I like the film too. I don't know why. 6 is correct. 6 strings for guitar. I don't know why I started doing that. I don't know why it was Finding Forrester. It's a very... I don't know. It's just a nice plot to explain, isn't it? There's a reclusive ex-writer hiding in a building, and then there's a playing basketball outside, then they go in, and then it turns out he's an old writer, and I'm not going to do it anyway. Final question. What does the E stand for in E equals MC squared? I'm going to give you a clue. It's not ecstasy.
Equation.
Nope. Right, that would make some sense, actually, thinking about it, I suppose. But it is an equation. There's a YouTube video where a guy gets tricked into thinking the hunt for Red October was a real event. Energy, correct. Or violin, viola, cello, double bass, or the accursed ukulele. They all have 6 strings. Is that called the accursed ukulele because of whatever what was she called? The ukulele lady? You know, the one with the YouTube... how do you say it in a light
Colleen
way?
Ballinger.
That's the one. Is that why you're saying a cursed ukulele, or just because
Toxic Gossip Train?
That's the one. That is the end of the general knowledge quiz. Well done if you got questions on the general knowledge quiz. Oh, I shouldn't have closed that down. I need that again. I have to open that again. Hang on. You got a few, didn't you? I would have got a few. Some of them I had to Google when I was putting that together. Yes, that oof. Yeah.
I think out of all apology videos, well, that's not really an apology, it's more of a...
It's the opposite of an apology.
But it is one of the worst, if not the worst.
Is she gone? Was she cancelled after that? Cause...
I think she came back, like, doing, like, vlogging or something, I don't know.
What a wonderful place YouTube is.
I swear every week, like a YouTuber is getting outed as being a weirdo.
Yeah, weirdo's putting it lightly.
Yeah, I'm not.
Almost 2 hours. Yeah, I mean it's probably the smartest way to word it when you're live streaming. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do another one of these, and then we will move on to other things because I think you're. I imagine you're quite incut. Are you tired yet?
I'm not too bad.
Yeah, but you do have work quite early in the morning, so we're not gonna like do an 8-hour live stream like last time. Here's another one. Let's see what I got wrong with this one because I didn't read them enough. I did hash all of this out quite quickly. Fun fact, there actually was a Soviet nuclear missile subcommander who went rogue and spooked NATO. He wanted the USSR to be more hardline though, not less. That's quite cool. Hang on, I'm just having adjusting in my chair, my legs are getting uncomfortable. Unfortunately, quizzes always make me heckle. I can understand the impulse. I mean, you did that, didn't you, when you got a bit too drunk at that first pub quiz? Do you remember that, or were you too drunk to remember?
I might have been too drunk. I
Okay.
don't know. What was I just saying?
I can't remember, but I can't remember what you were saying. No. There's a bit, and then you were talking to the guy who was the chef in the pub for ages as well.
I do that when I've had a drink. I talk to anyone.
Yeah, well, you're good at it anyway, though. Like people seem to just naturally gravitate to talking to you. You seem to have just a friendly aura or something. And then when you're a bit drunk, and I suppose the social anxiety wears off, you just seem to be really good at it. Because even when I'm drunk, I've got no ability. Also, someone at a quiz who shouts out the answers. Why are you shouting garlic bread? No, it was you shouted owl at one point.
Is that a dig at my accent? Sounding like Peter Kay. Garlic bread.
There's a crime, everyone.
Oh no!
Hold your horses. Someone has been murdered.
Mr. Alan Morris.
Yes, Dr. Alan Morris. Thank you very much.
Maurice Moss.
Your name is Maurice Moss, is it not? Dr. Alan Morris, a chemical scientist in the field of fields. That was a thing I wrote.
The field of fields.
Who was poisoned in his lab. It's like each of these I was going to write like jokey things like that. And then after the description at the start, I couldn't be bothered and just wrote them I wrote them seriously to begin with, and I was going to change it all up to make it more interesting, but then I ran out of time.
Right.
Field of Fields. He was poisoned in his lab, that's the point. And we have 5 suspects. One is called Isabel, the research assistant, an ambitious researcher who had worked alongside Dr. Morris for years. Isabel was becoming frustrated with the direction of their research. She felt Dr. Morris was holding her back from making her own discoveries. 2 is Derek, ex-colleague, a former colleague of Dr. Morris, now working for a rival research company. They had a falling out over intellectual property rights, with Dr. Morris accusing Derek of stealing research. 3 is Helen, the ex-wife. Helen recently discovered that Dr. Morris had cut her out of his will.
Oh no.
Yes, I repeated that again. 4 is Marcus, lab technician, a long-time employee at Dr. Morris's lab who nonetheless remained a background figure. Dr. Morris often referred to him as Matthew. When Marcus once put up with this, he had grown increasingly temperamental. 5, John is the investor, or one of the investors. John had recently pulled financial support from the project after discovering Dr. Morris had been having an affair with his wife. Science research doesn't work like that. No, it doesn't. I mean, none of this would work. No one's going to be really that... If anyone's been working there for years and they're still being called Matthew, I'm sure they would have addressed it with them by now. But it's... Mainly these are just written... Trying to write small things that stand out and are clear to understand. It is more like inventing, that's true. Why was the Scarecrow given an award? He was outstanding in his field, yes. Yes, he was. Good old Scarecrows. Right, so... 5...
I think Marcus is innocent. Would be totally unhinged to murder someone over calling you the wrong name. I mean, if that was enough to murder, I would have killed your dad years ago. calls me by your brother's wife's name like all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if we were taking it that realistically, yes. I mean, I think the murder in the last one was kind of ridiculous as well. I wouldn't say that's the rationale to judge this on though. I think you'd go for the logic of if it's possible, more than like it says he's growing temperamental about it, so it's consider it a decent motive, okay? I couldn't think of smart motives in a short time that I could describe in a sentence. So he was poisoned in his lab. That's the clue here.
You said in the last one that why would you kill someone if you've already been cut out of their will?
Does that mean you're going to
So
suggest
I'm
eliminating
going to
Helen?
say Helen is innocent.
Okay. So opportunity rather than motive. Then Marcus is back in the game. So that's one vote for Helen, because if she's already been cut out of the will, why would she murder? Logically, I suppose I could then argue, well, she was angry,
yeah.
But it's a rationale that makes sense. This isn't really. It's a game of if you can offer some explanation that would make sense for who you're suggesting, then I'm going to go with it. So far, that seems to be the only vote now that Marcus is back in. So, okay, we'll do that for the first one, shall we? We'll go with Helen. And I will say, let me look and remember who the actual murderer is. Oh, yes, this is going to be good. Yes, Helen is innocent. Helen seems innocent because unlikely lab access, too. That's a very good point. A good point to keep in mind as well.
Is she a spy for Elon?
Clue 1. Dr. Morris's drink had been tampered with. A glass from the lab kitchen was found near his desk. A glass from the lab kitchen. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not... This is one thing Elon Musk hasn't done wrong.
That we know of. Maybe he killed Alan Morris.
Maybe he did. Maybe he's done that as well, yeah.
I'd say potentially not Derek on them grounds, because I don't think he would have the access anymore to tamper with the drink.
Very sensible argument. I'll give it a minute in case anyone else has any votes. Any votes that aren't Elon Musk. So yes, Helen is gone with Isabel, Derek, Marcus and John. And I'll read the clue again just in case anyone's forgotten. Dr. Morris's drink had been tampered with. A glass from the lab kitchen was found near his desk. Agreed on Derek. Okay, that's 2 votes. So we'll go with that. Derek is innocent for exactly that reason. So that earns you... It's not Jeff Bezos. Billionaires do a lot of things wrong, but they didn't murder Alan Morris. We have Isabel, Marcus and John left, and clue 2 is the toxin used...
3.
Clue 2?
Isn't it clue 3?
No. The toxin used in Dr. Morris's drink is rare and suggests a special knowledge of toxicology or access to restricted substances or chemical knowledge. You know, that's what I'm... They understand things. Understand chemicals. I'll read that again without the waffle. The toxin used in Dr. Morris's drink is rare and suggests a special knowledge of toxicology or access to restricted substances. I did read it again, but with the waffle. It's not Marie Curie.
Yeah, John's...
So then John is out. You're saying that as well, so that's 2 votes. Why would he, as an investor, have that knowledge? Isabella's smell. Okay, so yeah, that's a few votes for John to rule him out. John is innocent, which leaves Isabel and Marcus.
Isabel is smelling guilt. Isabel's smell.
Well, here goes the final clue though. Isabel liked to buy lunch and an energy drink from a nearby shop each day, rarely visiting the lab kitchen. I don't know who Lena Zavaroni is. I do like the logic of taking that to court. The evidence, Isabella's smell. Isabella's smell, Judge. Isabel necessary on a bike. Excellent cover story. Guilty. Yes. The final clue was Isabel likes to buy lunch and an energy drink from a nearby shop each day, rarely visiting the lab kitchen. It would be a cover story. I think. Yeah, you could make that argument. And for memory, clue 2 was that. No, clue 1 was that his glass had been taken from the lab kitchen. Let's know who's the killer then. Is it Isabella's smell, or is it Marcus is Smarcus? Marcus is marked. Skid Marcus.
Skid McMarks.
Skid McMarks. Yeah, that's Ratchet and Clank, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That must be what I was thinking of. Did we say Marcus was alright? I don't think we did. Has to be one of them, correct? Who's your guess?
Maybe Marcus, I don't know. But Isabella's a bit sus.
You smelled it, dealt it. I mean, the thing is, again, I've written this one badly, in that one of them's motive is just ridiculous. Because I run out of things to think of that weren't to do with a will.
In your mind, all murder is revolved around wills.
Well, I mean, that's the classic Agatha Christie thing, isn't it? That's what every Agatha Christie is about. And I wrote these very quickly, so it's all the same. And you are trying. It is hard trying to just keep them simple. I'm sticking with Isabella's smell. Gino De Campo. Alright, shall I just give the answer? The answer is Marcus is the killer. Yeah. I mean, the logic was if I made his motive less obvious, then it'll be harder to get.
But what is his motive?
He doesn't like not being called
He's
by his name.
temperamental.
I was thinking of the Simpsons episode where it's the Who Shot Mr. Burns, and Homer's motive in that is that he keeps getting his name wrong. He doesn't know who Homer Simpson
or
is.
He's just clumsy and poisoned himself.
I mean, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone, except me for writing that. Should we do he called me the wrong name, he must die? I mean, it might be. Have you ever been called the wrong name? Have you ever been annoyed by that? I remember I went through a period where as a teacher used to call me Joey at school, which I hated. I killed her.
No, I don't think I have ever been called the wrong name.
Isabel just needs to find deodorant, apparently. Isabel is smell, but she's not guilty of crime.
The crime of smelling.
The crime of smell. Let's do this. This is movie posters. I still need that. Where's it gone? I can't see it now. This is movie posters. Zoomed in very, very far. So this is a classic movie poster. You probably know, and I've not only zoomed it in, but cropped it to a tiny, tiny bit. Like a little... Oh, God.
Well, is that what that was?
No, that's a different one. That's giving away the last one.
Oh.
I didn't mean to click that. No, this one is not Lord of the Rings Return of the King. One of them is. This is a movie poster, and a very hard one. There is a symbol there. Oh my God, Ian got it! That's genuinely impressive. I thought this one was going to be really difficult. Yes, it's Saving Private Ryan. That is his helmet.
Oh.
I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, it's a symbol. I was going to do the zoomed in sort of silhouette, but then I remembered I did Band of Brothers last time, and that has the exact same cover art.
Oh, does it?
Kind of. It's got the same zoomed in silhouette type thing.
Yeah.
And they're both made by Spielberg and Tom Hanks, so it must be a thing they've got for war films to have silhouettes of soldiers. That was impressive getting that, Saving Private Ryan. 2 of you did. This one. God, the problem is, zooming it in's fine, but when you make it so big and it becomes this pixelated, it's really hard. I also don't know, have we got the blue light filter on our screen because it makes the floor look brown there. I'm sure it's grey.
Floor?
Yes, the brown, it's a floor. It's an asphalt surface, but it doesn't matter because Daniel's already got it. It's Cars! That is the Age of Lightning McQueen on asphalt.
I've never seen Cars.
Haven't you?
Mm.
It's not. Oh, it's quite brown actually. Looking at it again, it's not. It's not one of those films you need to see. I wouldn't say. It's one of those films I like because I can remember seeing it as a child. I don't really know if it'd hold up. There's also that great. Oh, what is that guy? People of America probably know more about this than me. I got recommended that. There's that guy. He's like he's a sports pundit or commentator or something, and he has a show, and people like can ask him questions on his show, and people keep asking him questions about things like cars or who would win in a fight between Mewtwo and.
Told me about it,
yeah, and there's one where he seems to have a surprising amount of knowledge about cars, which is quite cool. Stephen A. Smith, that's the one. Yeah. I don't know anything about him, but I've seen those videos and it's really cool. I do really enjoy that. Cars implications are horrendous. Are they meat inside? That would be a good slogan for the franchise. Here's the next one. You could probably get this one.
It is the Goonies.
Oh, straight in with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think this is the.
It's the DVD cover, I think.
Oh, is it? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't sure it
Yeah.
was. I think this was an alternative one, but maybe not then.
I think this picture is, yeah.
Okay, well we got that one quick.
The Goonies is definitely in my top 10 favourite films ever made.
I do really like. I mean, as much as I do take the piss out of it, I do really enjoy the Goonies.
Well, that was one of the biggest things that I loved about seeing Love Hurts, seeing him and Sean Astin together again.
Yeah, I did like that.
This one's quite easy.
This one's quite easy if you're aware of the film. I thought I'd make it an easy one because people might not. I mean, it's a popular film this year, but oh yeah, Daniel's got it. It's The Wild Robot.
It's so good.
I do really like that film. It's one I forget we've seen. Was it last year or was it this year?
Last year.
Yeah, I think on my list of it ended up like number. I got a feeling 14, but I think it was higher than that actually. I think it got to it was like 20 or something, maybe 30 on my list. But I did really enjoy that one a lot. It's quite a chill film. It's quite moving though, isn't it? I enjoyed it a lot. Surprising amount about death for a children's film. I think this one's quite easy. Watched it last week. I think I prefer Flow. Yeah, I've not seen Flow.
Is that the one we saw a trailer for?
Oh, I'm thinking of Soul. Yeah, what's Flow?
The boat thing that
Boat
we
thing.
saw a trailer for.
Oh, yeah, that does look interesting. Yeah, what with the cat?
And the capybara.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Is that Flow? I don't know.
I think it
I think
was.
it was.
Is that what Flow is? And is it good? Princess Mononoke is correct. It looks like this. I've got that. I've got a book of the artwork for that film, haven't I? It's a nice hardback. Looks like Ghibli. You're correct. It is Mononoke. Yeah, that's Flow. I really liked it. Yeah.
It's not out in the UK yet, is it?
No.
But we do really want to see it. We saw the trailer recently, and
I hadn't heard anything about it until that trailer, but it does look really interesting. I think this one's kind of obvious because it's classic wallpaper. Seeing that wallpaper just puts the song in my head as well.
yeah.
Like, immediately. We got dun, 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 dun.
I think the dream would be like when we have a child
Toy Story.
to do their bedroom with that wallpaper.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. Yes, it's Toy Story. I can't look at this and not hear Randy Newman. No, I mean it does, doesn't it? You see that wallpaper and it's there. It's there.
Or you think of like the PlayStation games.
It's probably that as well. The menus. I think the menu for one of them had that wallpaper behind it. This one's a tricky one, especially with it that pixelated, because it's not what it looks like.
It's not fur.
Nope. It's not a field of wheat either.
Skin.
There's no Theresa May in the middle of it. Nope, it's not skin.
Babe Pig in the City.
Maybe this one's a bit difficult. I'd be surprised if anyone does get this one, to be fair. Babe Pig in the City, where's that come from? No, it's not that. I was going to say if anyone's going to get it, it'll be Ian, and he has. It's Shawshank Redemption. How did you get that one? How? It's there. I mean, there you can see it's rain, but here it doesn't look like rain. I'm either impressed or I'm starting to wonder if you've got like a filter in your brain for the Google image reverse search. Yes, it's Shawshank Redemption. This one's a bit more obvious. I don't know if you'll be able to get it though because you haven't seen this movie.
Breakfast Club.
People in university always had posters up. No, it's not the Breakfast Club. Yeah, it is one of those things. It does seem to just stick in your brain, doesn't it? It's weird how much movie posters, just seeing them, how much in your back catalogue, even a section of it can just zip into your brain. You know what it is. In that sense, yes, this one is Good Will Hunting. Because he's Will. No? What?
it just sounds
Where's that come from?
It just sounds like a quote that someone would say about a Danny Dyer movie.
Daniel Bishop's there straight away with The Substance, yes. Which we haven't seen, but I do really want to.
They're showing it in cinemas again for awards season, so maybe we will go see it.
Yeah, hopefully. So I would like to see it. This one, I think, it's the colours of this one that makes it familiar. Looks wild. Yeah, I've heard Substance is wild. There's one of those ones where all the news gutters were like, oh, loads of people walked out with this film because they found it too much. And I'm never sure if that's just kind of said as like an exaggeration marketing ploy or if it's actually true.
Oh, it is Donnie Darko.
It is Donnie Darko. Yep. That's Donnie Darko. Alien would have made sense, but no. This one's quite an easy one.
Taxi Driver.
Yeah, correct. I made that one a bit too easy. Trying to get a vary of difficulties, but yes, that is Taxi Driver.
That is a cool poster.
Yeah. I can't think there's many left now. Here's one from a film that has been mentioned today. I was going to say WALL-E. I don't think you'll be able to... I mean, you haven't seen this, I know. Yes, it's Apocalypse Now. It's Apocalypse Now. It's quite a cool poster. His face looks very odd in that, though.
That?
That's Marlon Brando with his head shaved. And I think it's Martin Sheen at the back there. I assume it is because he's in this film.
Martin Sheen?
Yeah, the dad of Charlie Sheen. I can't think what else he's been. Oh, it's got Lawrence Fishburne in as well, actually.
Who's Larry Fishburne?
That must be Lawrence Fishburne. Did he go by
Is
Larry
it Lawrence
back then?
Fishburne's dad?
No, it is Lawrence Fishburne in this.
Oh.
He was quite young at the time, so maybe he did go by Larry. It was a smart decision to change it. Dennis Hopper. That's what I was trying to guess when we were playing Pointless the other night in bed, wasn't it? That was what I was saying about Dennis Hopper. I couldn't remember his name. This.
Ants.
Thank you for chasing Randy Newman out of my head with Mad World. Yeah, well now you got that in your head. No, Ants is a good guess, but it's not actually. It's the exact same colours, isn't it? Lawrence Fishburne was too young to legally be there and he lied to get on shoot. Groundhog Day, correct. It's a bell. I really don't understand this poster.
I don't like it.
I remember seeing it on a VHS cover as a kid and just being confused by... I think also that classic like 90s movie poster smirk they pull to the camera. That Andy McDowell, isn't it?
Yeah. Who is the mum of Margaret Qualley from The Substance?
Oh, that's cool. Why did every old movie poster that's a comedy used to have someone pulling that exact smirk on the front though? Why was that a thing? He's having the day of his life over and over again. It's kind of yeah. I don't dislike the poster. It doesn't look wintry enough. The background for what the film is, though. I think that as well.
Oh, you were convinced it was a Christmas movie?
I was. I got it wrong. I even said it in the video I made on it, but I did make that video in one day. This isn't 2001 Space Odyssey. Nope. What can I say that wouldn't give this one away? It might have been released in 2001. I think no, I'm sure it was earlier than that. Also, Bill Murray smirks a lot. That is... No, that'd be No, maybe that's not.
Apollo 13.
That is the moon. That is a clue. I don't think gives it away
Wallace
too
and
much.
Gromit.
Nope. If it's Wallace and Gromit, that'd be a cheese-coloured moon. Truman Show. Nope. It's a moon, and it's behind a silhouetted background. I'll say that. It's a classic movie. It's not Blue Planet. It's a kids' movie.
The Clangers.
Nope. I wish The Clangers had been a movie. That'd be great. That's no moon. It's a space station. No, it's not. It's a moon. I swear. Home Alone 2. Nope. You're kind of on the right lines over Home Alone 2. It's that kind of movie. E.T.
Oh.
Yes. E.T.
I love The Clangers. Yes.
I love The Clangers. Avatar would have made sense as well, actually, but nope. E.T. I clipped up this bit because I think it's just a terrible movie slogan to have on a poster. I think this one's awful. It was their inspiration. He made their lives extraordinary. If anyone gets this because they remembered attack. Oh, yeah, Daniel's straight there with Dead Poets Society. Yes, it is. It's a terrible movie slogan. It's not even technically true in terms of what happens in the movie. But it is a very good movie. For E.T. was 10 to 20 years before 2001. Yeah, I thought it was earlier than that. I was going to say that, but it was.
The little girl in it is Drew Barrymore.
My guess is it's 1990 it came out, but that is a guess. I don't know.
I'd say
I'm going to Google it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be 80s. It was kind of
I
around
think
the
it is
80s when
80s.
Steven Spielberg was making those things, but I've got... I don't know. I don't know why it's in my head. When was E.T. released? Oh, yes, loads earlier. 82. Why was I thinking 90 then? Yeah, it's definitely not 2001 then. Even thinking about the effects, actually. Of course it's not 2001. Yes. When did Jurassic Park came out? Is that what I'm thinking of? I don't know. Here's a person with a bag and he's walking.
Catch Me If You Can.
Nope, that's good. That would be that kind of... Oh, Daniel's good at these. It's not just Ian who's good. Daniel's also good at these. It's Rain Man. There's another questionable figure.
Dustin Hoffman.
Or potentially Tom Cruise as well. I don't know. I don't really understand Tom Cruise.
Well, he was big in his Scientology nonsense, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't understand him really. I don't know enough about him either, though. I think he's much more a big figure in America than he is here. Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man.
Any guesses which one?
The first one.
Nope, it's Spider-Man 2. Straight in there, Daniel Bishop. No way did you know specifically that was the second one. It was quite an iconic poster, though. I think that might be the last one now. I've given away the other one. Oh, no. Here's one. This is a movie I haven't seen. It's an iconic one. Spawned a load of sequels. It's not Split. It's not X-Men. I don't know what the Pillow Book is, but nope. I can't think how many were. I imagine there's 4, but there might have been more than that. Harry Potter minus Scar.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, where there would be a scar on his forehead, there is a line of sweat. It's not the Hunger Games. It's older than the Hunger Games. It's got 2 very iconic actors in it.
Rocky.
Nope.
Rambo.
It's probably the right sort of time period, though. It's not Rambo either. Some sauna movie. The sequel to Saw.
Expendables.
Sauna. Nope, not Expendables, but you are kind of on the right lines.
Fast and Furious.
Nope, you're also still on the right sort of lines. Not the Terminator. Again, these are the right kind of movies, but it's not that one.
Matrix.
Nope. It's more realistic than The Matrix. Although The Matrix could be realistic, I don't know. Die Hard! It's Die Hard. Can you recognise the sweat of Bruce Willis? 12 terrorists, 1 cop. The odds are against John McClane. That's just the way he likes it.
Alan Rickman's in it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the villain in it. That's as much as I know about the film. That they're both in it, and it's a classic Christmas one.
Mm.
The world will be watching. This is the last one, I think, seeing as I gave away the other one. The clue is someone suggested this one earlier.
Hunger Games.
Correct. It's not Trump. It's the Hunger Games. Yes, now that is the Hunger Games. Oh, is Fred here? Rabbit has come into the room. The wires are guarded here, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes, he's probably just confused about where we've been the last 2 hours.
Hello, mister. Oh, I touched his nose by accident and he's ran off.
There's a spot on Fred's nose where if you touch it, he really, really doesn't like it. I don't know why that is. There's a spot on his ear where he gets really ticklish as well. It's one tiny spot. I mean, this is the last one. Memory would serve people well to know what this one is. Lord of the Rings. Any memory which film?
Return of the King.
Return of the King, indeed. That's the Swords, which I can never remember the name of. I think it's Anduril, isn't it? Or is that the other one? I don't know. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Yes. Right, let's get rid of that now. Is that everything we've done, apart from one more crime? Is that all of it? Because that would mean we're almost done.
Cats out. We've got rabbits.
Yeah, we got rabbits. House rabbits. We've got Fred and we've got Hendrix. And we did have Lennon, but that was about a year ago now. It was over a year, actually, wasn't it?
About a year and a half.
Fred is entirely deaf. So he's probably not been aware we've been here at all, actually, until he came in and had a look.
Because sometimes if we're out the room for too long and then like walk into like the other room, he
gets quite spooked.
Yeah.
It takes him by surprise. I mean, he'll feel the vibrations, I suppose, of us walking out of nowhere, and he doesn't really know what to make of it. But he's certainly. I mean, he used to be really bad for that, didn't he? But most of the time he doesn't. It's every now and again it just catches him out. He's quite relaxed a lot of the time. I didn't mix it up. I subbed for your bunnies, stayed for your great analysis. Oh! Yeah, was it your comment I read the other day on the Harry Potter video then? Because I remember someone did say something like that. Sometimes I remember people's usernames when I read the comments, but sometimes they just sort of blur in my head. I don't know why that is. I wonder if that was you then. Here we go. Let's see what's wrong. What I did odd about this one. I can zoom it in a bit more, can't I? I don't know. Sorry. You don't remember? Yeah, I get that feeling. Not remembering what you're commenting. So never had that thing where they watch a video, they swear they've never seen before, and then you scroll down, you find there's a comment on it that you left like 4 years ago. I got that the other day, didn't I?
House rabbits rock. We have two also. They do. They're like some of the best pets.
Yes. I love house rabbits.
Like we have individually our entire lives pretty much had house rabbits before we even like met.
Yeah. Yeah, when we first met was a year after my last house rabbit died that I had from when I was a kid, called Dylan, who does a video out actually on this channel. I made a video when Dylan died. Yeah, and then it was about a year after that we met, and you had...
I had Lennon and Hendrix.
Yeah.
And then about a year after that...
Yeah, a year into our relationship, we got Fred. Yeah, so I suppose we have quite a lot of experience with house rabbits.
I had a house rabbit who lived to be about 13 called Pepper.
Yeah.
And she used to be just the coolest. She'd chill out downstairs, and then at 10 p.m. every night she'd come into my room and snuggle up on my bed and then stay there all night. Was
it Pepper you said who scared away burglars?
Yeah. People broke into our house when I was home alone. I was probably about 16. And Pepper stomped so loud that the burglars ran off.
It's quite a smart bunny in that sense. I don't think ours would stomp in that situation. They'd just come running for food. I've tried to describe them to people as having vegan cats, except different playing and stuff to watch out for. Yeah, I mean, their behaviour is very different. I think that's partly because they're prey animals, so I suppose they tend to be careful to express too much. I suppose vocally they don't want to attract attention, so they are very quiet. Well, technically they're very quiet. They make a hell of a lot of noise chewing things and digging, but they're different in that way. They hide a lot of pain as well, don't they? If they're ill, you have to really look out for the signs because they won't let you know the way a dog or a cat might. And they do behave in different ways, don't they? Endlessly obsessed with everything. Really, really curious animals. Got to sniff out everything.
Or they don't care about things until you move it, and then they're obsessed with it.
Yeah. Like, also very stubborn.
Yeah.
Annoyingly stubborn at times, bunnies.
Well, Hendrix, she has had a bit of an eye infection.
Yeah.
And we've been having to do her meds, and that has been just effort.
She gets very grumpy.
Yeah, like you get snarled at, you get like your clothes dug at.
Yeah. I mean, very, very like friendly, affectionate bunny, really. I mean, when you say snarl, it probably gives the impression that she's like doesn't feel safe here.
She's not like aggressive or anything.
No,
anyway.
it's just a grumpiness. She's always if you move something, she doesn't like being moved. She'll snarl about it. So just.
It is very cute when you hear it.
Yeah.
She's just a grumpy little lady.
Right. Anyway. Enough of the rabbits, because there's been a murder. A skilled chef.
Another poisoning.
Yes. I honestly did these in about like 10 minutes. So,
okay.
Skilled chef Antonio Bellini was found dead in his restaurant's private dining room, slumped over a glass of half-finished red wine.
Okay.
The autopsy confirmed he was poisoned. The wine bottle was found in the main kitchen, and multiple people had access to it. Rabbit poisoner. We have 5 suspects, again, conveniently 5. Louisa Moretti, the restaurant's wine expert. I think that's called a sommelier. Antonio had been considering firing her due to cost-cutting measures. She recommended the bottle of wine that he drank from. Marco Bellini, 19-year-old brother. They had a bitter argument early that day over Marco's desire to sell the restaurant and open a gaming lounge. Sofia De Luca, head chef. She had been with Antonio for years, but he recently took credit for one of her recipes in a major interview. 4, Vincent Russo. That should probably be Vincenzo based on the other people's names. Vineyard owner. All of the restaurant's best wines were sourced from Vincent. Vincent. And Giovanni Rizzo. Giovanni Riz, let's say. Restaurant dishwasher.
Rizzo rat.
He'd been fired that morning even. Not hired and fired. He'd been fired that morning for stealing ingredients. He spent much of the day lurking around the restaurant, refusing to leave. Who didn't poison Antonio Bellini, the skilled chef?
Probably not Vincent. I don't see enough reason to do it.
Yeah, that's 2 for... I assume that's
plus,
Ian's
like,
basic
if
logic
he was
as well.
sending wine to this restaurant in order to poison someone, that is very risky.
Yes. So I've closed the thing down that had the clues. Oh, no, I haven't. So where is it? We've done that one. So is that what people are saying? Getting rid of Vincent? Giovanni would have lost access. Is another argument. They all did it. The classic Agatha Christie twist that they all did it together. Okay, so alright. That's basically saying Vincent is innocent. In which case, yes! Vincent is innocent. And your first clue is that the poison used was not something commonly found in a restaurant, but could be acquired through specific sources. Wait.
What?
That's not the clue. Have I confused this with another one? Or is there a logic here that I've forgotten? This is my problem from doing them all in quite a quick rush. I think what I'm trying to say is it's a very specific ingredient that requires knowledge. I think that's the idea.
Dishwasher fluid.
Nope. Nope. Ingredient is probably the better word rather than like chemical or something like that.
Head chef.
So it's not a common. It's not something you'd find easily in a restaurant and know what it is. It's a very specific ingredient that might be used in a restaurant, but you'd have to have knowledge of them.
So maybe the dishwasher. I don't know actually. Maybe not. Wouldn't know. Or the brother.
Both a good argument to say that they wouldn't know. So apart from it being a team effort, is there anyone suggested ruling out?
I'm gonna say.
So we've got Vincent gone.
The brother may not have done it.
Okay, so Marco, Giovanni wouldn't have had any chance to get anything. He was outside the kitchen. Oh yeah, you did say that earlier as well, didn't you? So that's 1 vote for Giovanni, 1 vote for Marco, 1 vote for
You can go
just pick
Giovanni
one.
if you want.
Giovanni, you're saying? Okay, the restaurant dishwasher is innocent. I tried to make sure that, like, these wouldn't be too easy to get wrong, or they wouldn't be too difficult, because it would be very disappointing if you wrote half of this and you get it wrong immediately. Giovanni is innocent, yes. So the next clue is that the poison was added to the wine after the bottle was opened. That's mainly a clue that would rule out Vincent if he hadn't already been, but there is your clue. The poison was added to the wine after the bottle was opened. Sorry, call came in, I'll catch up, says overanalyst. Okay, so he wouldn't likely avoid poison. Yes, no, it is not Giovanni, it is not Vincent. We are left with Luisa, Marco, and Sofia De Luca. Your vote was for Marco a minute ago.
That's ruling out, not did it?
Yes, ruling out. Louisa is likely innocent then.
Yeah.
What's the... Oh yeah, I see, right. So, is that a vote for Louisa or for Marco? Is Louisa safe then, as the bottle would have been closed before he drank from it? Well, hang on, have I read the clue wrong? No, I did read it right, didn't I? Poison was added to the wine after the bottle was opened. I didn't say before, did I?
No, you might have done.
Well, I wrote it right, or maybe I said it wrong. The poison was added to the wine after the bottle was opened. I've got a feeling I did say before. I can't even read now. The one I wrote right, and then I don't even read it properly. Yeah, so the poison was added after the bottle was opened. So Louisa could have done. She did recommend a bottle. It's possible. Not... It's possible. Okay, there's no more guesses. So, do you want to just go with Marco then? Was that what you were saying?
Well, they've said Louisa.
I think that might have been because I confused it, but okay, we could go with Louisa then. Okay, we'll go with Louisa. Louisa is innocent. How long has it been open? I think... oh, I did remove that from the description. All of the stuff I wrote originally to explain things was just removed. It was supposed to be a poison that acted in 30 minutes. And it's been about an hour, I think.
Okay.
Louisa is innocent. The final clue... After Antonio opens the bottle, but put it aside for 5 minutes when an unruly customer distracted him with complaints about the wine. Please, either Marco or Sophia. Who's more likely to be the killer? That would have been the clue, really. That would have ruled out Louisa, I think. The complaints about the wine.
Yeah.
Marco stormed off. Sophia would be too busy to poison, maybe.
I think it was Sophia.
You think it was? I can read
I
the clues again if
know.
that helps. The clues was poison was not something. Oh yeah, I wrote that really badly, didn't I? The poison was something that requires knowledge of ingredients to understand. The poison was added to the wine after the bottle was opened, and Antonio opened the bottle but put it aside for 5 minutes when an unruly customer distracted him with complaints about their wine. And it's either Marco or Sophia. Your guess is that what you're saying? You're saying Sophia did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Daniel's saying that Marco, or he's saying Sophia didn't do it. I don't know if he's saying the unruly customer was Isabel because she is smell. What was the clue about special knowledge again? That the poison used required a special understanding of rare ingredients. Sophia is likely on site. That's a good argument. Marco isn't necessarily there. There's nothing to specify that. And
Plus, if it's about ingredients, she's like a head chef. She'll know more.
Okay, so that's 2 votes for Sophia then. 2 votes for Sophia being the killer, I mean. 1 for Marco. The answer is Sophia is the killer. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think if I ever did these again, I'm going to have to spend a little more time to actually write them. But that's, yeah. It's Sophia. You've solved another case. The city can sleep easily. And I think that is everything we've done now. Is that everything I prepared?
I think so.
In the bit of time I spent preparing it this morning. Let's minimise that. And it's now 10 past 10 here, or 11 past 10. We've been on for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It's from the film Chef. No, you did great. Thanks so much for preparing it. Really enjoyed it. Thank you. I mean, I find it fun doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, and we're glad you've joined us, so thank you for doing that.
I think if anyone's going to win, we should have done this last time, like giving the quiz crown to someone.
Yeah.
I think it probably would be Ian.
What would people win, though?
I don't know.
A round of applause.
Everyone do a round of applause that nobody can hear. I think Ian would probably come in first place for that.
Daniel was really good at the picture stuff though, and the
Yeah, well, Ian did get the Shawshank one, which was quite impressive.
I said Babe Pig in the City.
I guess what that's left to do is waffle until we decide it's time to finish. You must be quite tired now, mustn't you?
A little bit, but okay.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about Harry Potter briefly, weren't we?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you want to, or is it too big a can of worms to open that now?
No, I just think it'd be fun to talk about things that we think should.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll explain that then in case. I don't know if anyone did see my recent video about it, but I was talking about the first book, Harry Potter, and kind of the idea that it's difficult to know what to feel about books that A, I did love as a child, B, don't entirely stand a test of time, and there's a lot of things weird and wrong and badly written about them. C, obviously J.K. Rowling being who she bees makes it easier to be even more negative. And yeah, it's weird, that conflict of a thing you loved as a child that you now kind of dislike, and how do you reconcile what you feel. So I decided I'd do a big long 3.5 hour video talking how you would fix the first Harry Potter book, half as a way to explore what's wrong with it in the first place, half to kind of reconcile the potential it did have, and half because these fractions are very odd, because I've forgotten the other as a learning and writing. I watched about 1.5 hours of the Harry Potter video, some interesting plot point amendments. Yeah, I think generally people have agreed with them. I think the main critique of that is that I've changed so much you wouldn't have space for it in a tiny kid's fun book, which I think is a fair argument.
Or you've had issues with how you speak about J.K. Rowling.
Oh yeah, I mean there's always going to be comments about that, isn't there? I got in a big long argument with someone about that the other day, but
Yeah.
the joys of that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't include in that which I wish I had.
Mm-hmm.
Someone left a good comment as well that they think the snitch. I said in the video that it should get 30 points when you catch it, because it's 150 points is just a crazy high amount that whoever catches the snitch.
I was never a Potterhead, but finding out about Neil Gaiman really hurt me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I realised I was halfway through making the Coraline videos when I found out about that. And then more evidence came out recently.
I think it's the extent of what a bad person he is that's shocking.
It is genuinely shocking that. And it does hurt because there's a lot of Neil Gaiman books I really liked, and there's a lot I was planning to read at some point and excited to read, and suddenly all that motivation is just gone. And yeah, it is upsetting, that one. Oh, this is broken. I've just been fiddling with it and it's broken. What if you're more than 150 points behind and you catch the snitch and lose the game for your team? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the problem with it, is that as well. You then have to catch up to, otherwise you just keep the game going on forever. And also it's so much you have to be behind that it makes everyone else's job kind of pointless, which is kind of the case in most scenes, I think, involving Quidditch in the books. That really what anything else going on doesn't matter. It's just who catches the snitch. A couple of times it does, but I said in the video it should be 30 points, but someone said it should be 35 because then the game could never end in a tie, because that would be the only odd number if you catch a snitch, which is a good idea. Is there anything you'd change? Can you think off the top of your head?
In relation to Quidditch or just in
or
general?
Anything, yeah.
I think I would have made it so the Dursleys are... It turns out the Dursleys are horrible to Harry because he is a Horcrux.
Yeah, someone commented that as well, which I think makes sense. Because a lot of the Dursleys don't make sense in that. And I've never really understood... I mean, I think this when I was rereading it, some of it, how, furious Vernon Dursley gets at the mere mention of the word magic. Why is he that angry? He doesn't have any history with it anyway. He got Petunia, at least there's some argument about her sister and past and jealousy and things, but Vernon doesn't have any real motivations to hate magic as much as he does, and to hate Harry as well in that sense. So I don't understand that either.
I would have also had more character for Draco, because I think Draco has the potential to be such an interesting character.
Yeah. They should have made the Dursleys religious. That's probably true, actually.
But then it would have been hard to, because if they use an already existing religion, that could be seen as a negative, I suppose.
Yeah, that's
towards
true.
That religion, and say that people who are in this religion are... So it'd have to be something made up.
Yeah, religion's an odd point, I suppose, in Harry Potter as well. Because I mean, there's big swathes of people that accused the book of being the devil's work, didn't they? Because it was to do with magic. I think that's more a US thing.
Right.
I don't think that's a criticism I've ever heard in the UK, but I don't think it would be here because we do have such pagan history that those things are probably more just accepted, I think. But yeah, I suppose entering... So I imagine, although I don't agree with it, I imagine the reason there's a weird lack of religion ever in the books. It's one of the points I said in the video, is anyone religious? I don't understand. They seem to celebrate Christmas in the Wizarding World, but there's no any other mentions of any religions. Presumably there are muggles who are religious and then learn about magic. What do they do with their beliefs? I don't know. But I imagine the decision was to just avoid the possible conflicts and putting off audience members. I imagine they just decided it was more simple not to include religion, although I wouldn't put it past J.K. Rowling just to have simply not thought of it. There's a lot of things she just didn't think of that should be obvious. Yeah, Draco's the one that annoys me the most, though, because he could...
Maybe they've been about, but is it J.K. Rowling's comments on trans people that have made her episode? I'd say that was kind of the start.
Yeah.
But then there's been like Holocaust denial.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's necessarily the entire Holocaust denial, but she denied the idea that trans people ever suffered in the Holocaust, and she's just increasingly. It started off as that one comment about the pronouns. I think was how it started, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And when there was backlash for that, it's like she became more defensive and has allowed herself to slowly become increasingly radicalized.
But like to the point where she is funding like
far right extremists.
Yeah.
Yes. As long as people are allies in the anti-trans crusade, then that's like her big concern. That seems to be more important than any other issue, which is baffling to me as well. Even these were not just comments. She's very hateful, actively campaigns opposed trans. Yeah, I mean, it is. People say that's the thing. I've been getting a lot of comments on the video, like, why do you dislike J.K. Rowling just for saying something that's true? Is what they all say, and they make it like, which I don't think it is. But it is bigger than that, and I don't blame anyone for not understanding, because it's never. I can't think of any real news articles that ever talk about just how far J.K. Rowling's gone. They do always just make it out like it's just this starting point it was, but it has gone a long way from there.
But I think like she is also very like misogynistic as well.
Yes, the books would suggest that too.
And she only validates a very certain specific type of woman.
Yeah.
You can't be too girly, but you can't be too masculine at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there's something about that I remember reading to do with the books. There's an interview where she said something about, I can't remember what it was.
Wasn't it she compared someone that she didn't like, a woman that she'd worked with or something, who wore all pink and was very like girly, and that's why she made Umbridge.
Oh yeah, that was the inspiration for it. Yeah, there's something weird about how she said it. It was like that was really dismissive of them being a bit girly. I can't remember what it was though. I imagine. Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to find that again if I ever get to making a video on it. It's just because I thought she had a background doing a lot of work for women's charities. Yeah, I think she does. I think, like, it's not to say like everything she does is bad. I think she probably has done a lot for women's charities in the past. Yeah, but I think you can be, for example, misogynistic without realizing it. In the same way, I used to get people to say I'm not racist, but like I think a lot of them genuinely don't think they are.
And I kind of believe you can't say you believe in women's rights if you're not talking about all women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what about trans rights? What about trans women's rights?
Which is it just gets segregated out of the discussion somehow.
Yeah.
After being abused, yes, she was. I think she was sexually assaulted. I'm fairly sure I've heard that. I don't want to accidentally make it sound like I'm criticising her on the basis of that, because I think she has done positive work in the past, but I think that doesn't mean you're not also being harmful at the same time. I don't think it's like the two are necessarily dependent from each other. And it's a shame, because all of this did start with a kind of ignorant comment that could have easily just been explained and you could have learned from it. But somehow it becomes doubling down, and...
Also the bad person gradually wiped off sweat off their fat arm.
Also the bad person gradually wiped sweat off their fat arm. That is a very... Yes, there is a lot of fat phobia in the books.
Because a lot of the characters who are overweight are either bad people or stupid.
Yes. If they're good people, then they're not supposed to be criticised. Molly Weasley is meant to be overweight, and there's a bit where Draco kind of teases her about that, and that's a bad thing. You shouldn't do that, and everyone's mad at Draco for saying that. But if it was Dudley, like, fair game, apparently. You're not supposed to comment on Hagrid's weight. That's mean. But if it's Vernon, yeah, sure, go for it. there is that a bad person pungently wipes sweat off their foul. That is basically how it works. It's like as many adjectives as she can possibly get into the sentence to remind you. It's kind of yeah. That one, I don't necessarily think she is fatphobic either. I think there is an interview where she talks quite sensitively about to do with that and how difficult it can be being judged for your weight. So I don't think that's necessarily like consciously what she believes. I think that's again just half not thinking. I think it's half inspired by Roald Dahl style of humour before it, and half just a general bitterness she does have as a person. I think we know that now. That just happened to come out in a way that she thought was light-hearted humour and didn't really think it through. Mm-hmm. But then again, it is incredibly extreme. Like I didn't realise it until I read it back. It's almost comical just how intense it is and how this was ever accepted. Like some of it is ridiculous. Hagrid is a giant though, so that I suppose that would be racism, wouldn't it? Which the books also include.
Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Oh, I forgot that.
Cho Chang.
I was thinking of the whole goblins thing, but that's true as well. Yeah. Yes. It might be. I'm not fat phobic. Some of my friends are. Yes, I suppose it's kind of that argument, isn't it? I think I would remove that from the books. I think I would say that. I think there's a lot of other humour you could do with the Dursleys without needing that. I think you could play a lot more on I suppose Vernon's need to seem like a sort of sophisticated middle class family, wanting to look like someone who's proud of his image. You could do a lot on Petunia's house pride.
It goes as far as like, cause people with red hair have always been bullied.
Yeah.
So let's make the family with red hair be the poor. Like, you know.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of true. Yeah. Well, I suppose it is. Fred and George were both very popular, actually, and so was Charlie and Bill. Well, they're not really characters, things like that, so I suppose they don't count. I'm still unpacking internalised misogyny from growing up evangelical. We don't always realise what we are. It is difficult, those kind of things. How you get even like when it's like ideas you don't rationally agree with, still seem to be sort of unconsciously ingrained into the ways you feel. It is really hard to unpack that kind of stuff. Yeah, there was something I was going to say about Harry Potter, but I've forgotten now. Is there any other thoughts you had on that? I think you could do a lot more different comedy with the Dursleys that doesn't require them being fat and lazy and all of the other things they say.
It even comes down to like Aunt Marge getting blown up.
Oh yeah, that happens as well, doesn't it? Yeah. Dudley becomes a pig in book 1. She gets blown up in book 3. Mm-hmm. You get lots of descriptions of Vernon having a purple face as well. Like whenever he's slightly angry, his face goes purple. And I think Crabbe and Goyle come into it as well, although they're also kind of described as more muscular, I think, in the books than they are in the films. Then again, there's also all the talk about how much they eat cakes.
Yeah, and the way they like...
They leave out
lure them to...
for the polyjuice potion. Yeah. They just immediately eat the cakes, pick up all the cakes, stuff the faces. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There is that kind of stuff as well, isn't there?
And then one of them in the films was fired because he was caught growing marijuana in his mum's attic.
Was he?
The guy who played Crabbe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why they replaced him with someone of a different skin colour in the last film.
Oh yeah, it was just suddenly a different character. I don't know if they got a name or not.
No.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Crabbe and Goyle do disappoint me because they don't get any dialogue. It's so obvious you could do anything with them.
I think the only dialogue they get is when it's technically Harry and Ron with the Apologies version.
Yeah. The only dialogue they get is when it's not them. Yeah. Someone in the comments on the video suggested, like, just getting rid of them entirely and having the character Pansy Parkinson and Blaise Pascal, who are other just general Slytherin characters that exist. And that kind of makes some sense, because they at least get to be characters. Make them like Draco's minions. I said in the video I like the idea that they kind of mirror Harry and Hermione, Ron and Hermione. So I suppose in that sense it would have made sense to make one of them a girl. Yeah, that you could do anything with them though. It doesn't matter what you do, anything at all, as long as they're characters, rather than just people described for them. That's another how much there's an odd sort of judgment about them having muscles, and that instantly making them brutes. Like if you're like a strong type person, then you're also apparently stupid. That kind of jock judgment, I guess. My voice is dying though. Should we wrap this up? Do you think you ready for bed?
I will be soon. Yeah.
We've done 3 hours almost exactly. Yeah, that's probably a good time. I hope people have enjoyed this. I've had fun. I like doing these sort of sudden just quizzes out of nowhere. And we're learning a bit more. We've learned how to increase the volume on the mic for a live stream.
There was something that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah?
The TV show Tracy Beaker.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that, weren't we?
So, there is a British children's author, I suppose, called Jacqueline Wilson. And we have recently been watching like a TV show adaptation of a book of hers called Tracy Beaker.
Yeah.
It's a kids show. It was on like the kids equivalent of BBC.
Yeah, I mean the main reason we watched it to begin with was for nostalgia from when we were children seeing it.
And I would 100% recommend it to like anyone. It's such a good show. I guess it's really moving. It's about kids in a care home.
Yeah. Yeah, Tracy Beaker's described as having behavioural problems, isn't she? In the first episode. And she's in a care home and she's been sent back for the foster parents who couldn't handle her, basically, is what their argument. No, it was that their foster parents had now become pregnant and now they're getting their own child. They don't want Tracy anymore. And she gets abandoned again. And it's happened like a few times, that kind of thing for her. And that's sort of the start of it, her having to go back to the care home, and then it's life from there. And it is a really good show.
Yeah, especially, so we are currently on like a kind of spin-off show called Return of Tracy Beaker Returns, I think.
Yeah.
And this one is really deep and hard-hitting in moments. Like, it touches upon like refugees fleeing their country and the violence in these countries. There's kids falling off roofs. There's
some of the plot lines as well are just like really, like you said, they spent a long time interviewing people in care homes and understanding real stories. Is it on currently? No, it's about must be about 20 years old now, mustn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it still stands up as a great show for kids to watch.
And there's a child in Tracy Beaker Returns who has autism, and for the time, I think that was probably not that spoken about.
Yeah.
And he is just a lovely character. He's so sweet.
Yeah, I do like him a lot. I was going to say, there's the example, like, there's the 3 girls, isn't there? And one of them's a lot older, and she's losing, I can't remember how they lose their parents or what the story is there, I can't remember with them. But she's been in a position where she's got to be the older sister, caring like a parent for her 2 sisters, like their daughters, and she reads them every night. And it gets to being fostered, and they finally get home, and she is really struggling with the idea of these foster parents being the parents instead of her, and she's quite protective and wants to make the decisions and doesn't agree with the decisions the foster parents make. And it gets to a lot of big arguments and sort of breaks down the relationship. And there's that decision that she can't live with her sisters anymore because she's making it worse, and she has to go back to the care home without them, and that's just a really sad episode, that happening. The separation of that, which probably would happen. It seems a horrible thing to do, but I can imagine those kind of things do happen or did happen, especially if they spent time researching this. What must have been 2010, that series, so maybe 10 years ago. The first one was probably like 2000, I think. Maybe that one's 2010. And it's quite a nice arc that comes out of that plot line. Those kind of things are really sad, isn't it? The friends they get to know and who suddenly get fostered, and there's the question of, why didn't I get fostered? Why was it them over me?
It is a kids show, but it touches upon some actually quite deep stuff.
I do love it. I would highly recommend that. I'm going to make a video on it, or at least a Patreon article. Maybe not a video, because I don't think it's known outside of the UK.
No. But if you can, watch it, I do recommend it, because it is it's great.
Jacqueline Wilson books in general, actually, probably. I've never actually read any, but
I was obsessed with them when I was a kid. They are very deep, though, a lot of them. But I think that's pretty good for kids books, because
I do.
It doesn't happen often. I think a lot of authors and in TV shows and stuff reach children they're stupid, or they don't understand things.
Yeah.
And Jacqueline Wilson books touch upon domestic violence and parental loss and a lot of things like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's an idea that children are supposed to be shielded from those kind of ideas, and obviously that's true in a lot of ways. But in other ways, there are children who do experience this stuff, and unless there's stories out there that can help them process what's happened, then if all adults are too afraid to let them know about it, about the anxiety, it makes it worse. That makes it more difficult for them. And also, I think you can explain a hell of a lot to children as long as you do it in a safer way, in a digestible way. As long as you know how you're going about it, they can understand these things. And I think that's probably the skill of children's books. I think they've got to be really, really good at that. Explaining things in a way that makes sense to children without it being overwhelming, and can still speak to them. Kids can deal with a lot. Yeah, they can. It can be really, really tough. As long as it's done tactfully, as you say. Yeah, and there are a load of group books designed on that, and I don't know enough about Jacqueline Wilson myself, but it was all of that, really, isn't it? There's lots of kids' stories that touch on trauma. There's one. What's that one called? It's the Dustbin Girl or something, isn't it?
Dustbin Baby.
Yeah, to do
with
with
a girl who's left in a bin when she's.
Yeah, which is both very sad, and B, easy to understand what the idea there is from the off.
There's also
Dustbin Girl.
There's
makes
also
sense to a child.
Called Vicky Angel, which is about a girl who witnesses her best friend die.
Yeah, being able to write that stuff in a way that's safe and understandable for children has got to be really, really difficult, but really worthwhile.
I think she even touched upon things like sexuality and not a forcing it, like people like to accuse authors and stuff are doing these days or whatever.
The woke argument. I was thinking about that earlier today, actually. There's the Red Scare, about the phase, in the 70s when everyone was afraid of anything being communist. Is that now? It's the woke scare. I was thinking that would be a good video.
Everyone's afraid of something that's just a bit different.
Yeah. I think there's one called Vicky Angel, which I don't know. Yeah, that's what you just said. You just mentioned it, so never mind.
I think for me, as someone who realised I wasn't straight when I was probably 11.
Yeah.
Having books relating you to things like that make you feel like you're more normal, and it is okay to not be like everyone else, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Moral panics have always been a thing. There's the one over the satanic panic as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I was going to say something. I've forgotten it now. I got distracted by the comments.
There's the other book called Lola Rose, which is about the girl and her mum who flee their abusive dad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one I read about.
I think she wins like a lottery ticket, the mum,
Yeah.
and they leave him.
And then there's like about the money running out or something, isn't
yeah.
there? It's a good idea. I love the show Tracy Beaker Returns. I would especially recommend that one. It's very sweet as well, isn't it?
It's because Tracy, who was once the child at the care home, now has gone back to work at the care home.
Yeah, she's now 19 or 20 or something, and she's working there, and that makes me feel oddly proud in a way. Like, this kid character is grown up and doing well. I feel an odd sort of parental pride towards her, which is very sweet. And seeing her have the sort of conversations with the kids there now that they were once having with her when she was a child. It's a very, very nice idea, that. And I'm very much looking forward to watching more of it.
It also makes me really want to work in that kind of environment.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think the original Tracy Beaker was much more child geared. A lot of it still held up, but the plot lines weren't quite as developed as Tracy Beaker Returns. The budget's definitely gone up for the show as well. I would like to talk about that.
It is on iPlayer. That's where we're watching it.
Yeah, that's how we ended up doing it. We haven't gone on Netflix in ages, have we?
No.
We've just been bombing through a ton of stuff on iPlayer. They've got
been
so much
watching,
stuff on there.
Like the American Traitors.
Yeah, that's on there as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much. There's like all of QI on iPlayer, all of Doctor Who, all of...
I won't say recently, but watched Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the Doctor Who kind of spin-off.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so good.
Was that one you watched as a kid? Is that why?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never seen it.
So that was a CBBC show as well.
iPlayer is a really underrated streaming service, especially because it's like technically free for us. Not exactly, but sort of.
Yeah.
The Boy Who Sold His Soul is Laughed to the Devil. Is that a book? Or is that...
It could be like a moral...
Oh, possibly, yeah. I think it is probably time we wrap this up, isn't it? I'm getting tired. We need sleep. Well, you do especially, because you've got to be up really early. And so have I, because you'll get up, so I probably will as well. I don't know, I sometimes lie in a bit longer, don't I?
Yeah. Like, while I'm getting ready, you'll stay in bed. And before I sleep tonight, I do want to play a bit of my Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
And I will play flash games. I can hear you both yawn and get some rest. Yeah, that's probably a sign it's time to finish. I don't think I ever sound energetic and enthusiastic in these kind of things anyway, but when I'm yawning, it's probably time to stop. There was a series of children's dramas called Drumama. Dramarama. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
We'll have to search up Apollo the parrot before bed.
Yeah, and Dramarama. Alright, quickly, is there anything else we should search up before we leave?
Schindler's List.
Or Paddington's as well. Okay, I'll tell it as a no. So yeah, we'll finish there. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this. We'll probably do it again, I don't know, next, like...
month.
National occasion, or not like...
Pancake Day.
occasion that we're supposed to celebrate and we don't have anything else to do. Maybe, I don't know when Pancake Day is.
Steak and Blowjob Day.
It's a great one for a live stream.
14th of March.
Whatever one's like. I mean, your birthday's probably the next thing that's coming up, but I don't think we'll be doing a live stream on your birthday.
Probably not.
I don't know. Maybe we'll just do one just random time. Pancake Day. Is Waffle Day one? I imagine.
Maybe not.
I imagine that's just.
It might be like some type of.
Probably Pancake Day. Oh, Pancake Day isn't a thing actually, is it? It is in some
Shrove
countries.
Tuesday.
I think Pancake Day is is it called Mardi Gras? I think they're the same day, and it's the same like.
Oh.
I think they developed from the same original beginning. For us, it's just pancakes though. Yeah, you just eat pancakes. Okay, I've said it a lot. We're gonna finish. So have a good night, day, morning, whenever you are.
Mhm.
We're going to bed.
Valentine's Day.
Yes. Have a good time doing whatever you're doing. I'm going to have a sleep. I'm going to enjoy it. I always look forward to sleeping. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know how to conclude. So that is it. That is the end. We're going. Goodbye.
Bye.